I'm Justin Seymour. This is the Kokomo Press Podcast, and I don't know what else to say about myself, but you should check it out. It's fun.
Warning! This video contains adult content not suitable for children.
Called Friendship out right now.
I think you should leave sketch of the haunted house.
It's one of the.
I think it's one of the funniest fucking sketches I've ever seen.
1000% agree.
I still like the in the restaurant with the professor, like with the burger. Like
that.
He's like,
give me that.
He wants to try the burger, and then he's going to eat the whole thing.
Yeah.
It turns out he's home.
I don't know why I don't remember this one. I don't know.
That's the first one I ever saw. Dyke and Thad showed me that one, and like I also. I make the sloppy steak joke all the time.
Yeah. From True Funnies. Yeah. My girl and I, we bonded over it a lot because we that's the type of humor we have is like random words like that, like random phrases. Like we're all just trying to find the guy who did this. And
here's the thing. That's Indiana white guy, middle class. It's just quoting movies. That's what I used to date a girl from Spain for like 2 years. She didn't think I was funny at all. And that's the thing. She came here and she would hear all of a sudden, she's like, you guys are not, no one's funny here. Yeah. She's like, you guys don't say anything funny. All you do is quote movies.
Yeah, this is what memes used to be. Just dudes sitting in a circle.
She's like, humor here is just quoting movies. And I'm like, that she's kind of right.
Yeah. Or meme. Now it's like we quote internet phrases and memes and shit. And it's like just stupid. And like it's almost like we have so much irony on top of like layers of irony on top of jokes from like this collective consciousness we built in the last like 25, 30 years. Like it's insane. Like
we get it. You smoke weed.
No, I mean I do, but I haven't actually in a minute. So how about that? I'm taking a little sabbatical.
Nice. Have I smoked weed more recently than you?
You probably have.
Oh shit.
Well, I think I took a drag Thursday, but I barely smoked anything there, and I feel like it was starting to get to the point where I'm like, this is now something I'm doing every day in like a routine way and less of like I want to enjoy it way. And I feel like that's when you start to develop some version of like it's literally the definition of a habit. So it's like I don't want this to become habitual. I want this to be fun. You know what I mean?
Well, don't call anybody out over there, Jordan. Are we rolling? Are we going?
Yeah, let me go ahead and go. I'll get some intros real quick. I just start usually in the beginning just to see how just so we're talking.
And she didn't think I was funny at all.
Yeah, no, I didn't. I don't think I started there. I don't know where I started. It's a good question though. So how you called me out for that? I'm kidding. I do want to really quick before we start. I don't know why I threw it there. One real quick. We've kind of have a collective agreement and just not to talk Charlie Kirk because it's a waste of time.
Thank God.
So yeah,
I'm glad we all feel the same.
I'm going to start the podcast with me being like, hey, we're not going to do that.
I was like, thank God, no Charlie Kirk.
Oh God, I hope we don't have to talk about Charlie Kirk.
Dan's here. Jordan and Dan are going to argue.
I sent him a message while I was sitting at the gas station right by NSA Crane driving up exit 87. And I shot Grainger a message and I just get a laugh reaction like, oh no. And he goes, no, because I was about to say it to you.
Yeah, I literally, as soon as everybody got here, I was like, can we just not? Because like it's not a positive. Nobody's going to be happy with where we start, finish, in the middle. Like, we're all just going to sit here like sitting on eggshells, but also really opinioted about the eggshells.
This is for Annie.
Yeah, this is Annie. I love you. I apologize. I'm just kidding. I apologize for the right wingers on my Facebook. Yeah, I can't help people. But yeah, let me do a quick intro and then we'll just get started and shit.
Let's do it.
Off. What's up? You've tuned in to the Kokomo Press Podcast. I'm your host, Jordan Grainger, and I'm back once again in a room full of funny people. Yeah, I keep them all in a closet. I pull them out one by one every week just so you can enjoy a fun hour and a half, 2 hour conversation with some really great people. So I hope you have a great time. This week, I have a great co-host. He's back again. This is 2 weeks in a row. He was just announced as the newest writer for the Kokomo Press. Ladies and gentlemen, the great Sean D's in the house.
What's
I love you, Sean. Thanks for hanging out, Sean. We've got him back. Of course, returning to the show. He's been in here a couple times. He's drunk us underneath the table, above the table, all over the table. We're just on a table. Ladies and gentlemen, the great Dan West is in the house.
Hello.
And our special guest this week, he has never been on this podcast, but he's been to the open mic. He's been around. If you've been in Indiana, you've seen him somewhere. I just watched him absolutely destroy a good friend of mine at a comedy roast in Indianapolis. Ladies and gentlemen, the great Justin Seymour's in the house.
Hey.
And that's the great panel we have on the Kokomo Press Podcast this week. How you fellas doing, man?
Good. Hope you don't mind me doing the glasses. I just wanted to be Mark Norman for this.
Hey.
There you go.
I'm just gonna do him the whole time. Hey, these bunch of queefs here at Kokomo Press.
Do Mark Norman. Let me get a server over here so I can grope her.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
Yeah. It's like, every once in a while you have too many drinks, you got to do it. As long as you apologize.
Groper, huh?
Groper.
Sounds like a fish.
Yeah, it's a grupa. Yeah, it's a group of guys groping a girl.
I'm just doing the Mark Norman the whole time.
Hey.
Sorry, I'll get out of it.
Hell yeah. Man, I appreciate you guys coming in today and goofing off. It's been an odd week, but we've decided we're not going to talk about the odd week. We're going to talk about the fun stuff, man. We're going to talk about comedy. We're going to talk about the good things. So I'm just excited to see you guys again. I know Justin and I have kind of been talking about like trying to find a date for us to have him on the show. And then you and I, Dan, we had a conversation. You're like, hey, these are the dates I'm available. And I was like, I got Justin. Let's all hang out, man. You two are two guys that I've had some of the most fun conversations about comedy with. So I'm like, let's get them in the room. And obviously Sean and I talk comedy constantly. That's all we ever
almost
do.
every day. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like a,
But Justin was one of the first guys that told me I was funny at a mic. So
Dude, I thought you were hilarious, man.
man, that's funny, man.
I really do. I think you're like a good joke writer.
Yeah.
Thank you. So
Absolutely.
That's weird because you stopped me and you said, I think I was wrong about Sean.
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
Yeah, no, I do. I think, I don't know about you guys. I feel like in the Indiana scene, obviously we're all just trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
We're all trying to figure out none of us are anybody in comedy.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So we're just trying to figure it out. But like, it is interesting the people you can see who do really try to write jokes.
Yeah.
They actually try to write jokes. And then there's the people that kind of rely on, I don't know, personality.
Okay, now he's talking about me.
You know what I mean?
Damn it. Came right out.
And I think that's fine,
kidding, I'm
but
kidding.
like you got to have jokes, man.
Yeah.
And I think, Sean, you just are a good joke writer.
There's
Yeah.
also a hidden third group where sometimes you go about 3 years without writing a joke, and you're just really glad that you go on the road and see people who've never seen you before, so you can tell the same jokes.
Yeah, that's a decent amount of people as well, man. The act is the act, man. Don't ask me to change anything.
Yeah. But it is a great feeling when you go to like another town or a city and you do your old stuff and it does great. And
Oh,
you're like,
absolutely.
oh yeah, no one laughs about it in Indianapolis anymore
Yeah.
or in Indiana anymore.
Right.
But when I go up to Michigan, I'm the shit now. You know?
Yeah, or it's like just the breathing new life into old material is nice
Yeah.
in general. I mean, I've been doing comedy like 7 years, and I've got jokes. I'll go back and look at old stuff because iPhone gives me the notes from back then.
Yeah.
Embarrasses me. And I went back and I'll read it, and I'm like, I can update this and make this sound more like me. Because in the beginning, when you're writing, you're just writing jokes. You don't even, you're aimless. Like you're literally, and then eventually you get some version of what your voice is, and then you can go back and like, oh, I can adapt this for my voice, like who I am now. It's a lot better.
Yeah, I'm still trying to figure that out. To be
Is it
honest.
tough? I mean,
Yeah.
you and I had a conversation about that, about trying to distill like kind of your comedy down to like, I've only got X amount of time to give these people an impression of me.
Yeah.
Here's what I want them to know, and then just nailing it over and over again.
Well, Frank, I mean, when I started, I don't know about you guys, how you before I even did my first thing ever, I was like, okay, I was obsessed with comedy. I loved it, always did. I was a musician for 10 years, right?
Yeah.
But I think I'd done everything in music I was going to do, and I was like, I'm going to get into doing comedy and start writing. But my first thought was, I'm going to do this, and only if I say what I really want to say.
Yeah.
And then I started doing it, and I went the complete opposite direction because you learn that there's a whole craft to the thing, right?
It's an art, yeah.
It's an art form. It's a craft, and like to actually say the things you want to say are usually pretty complex.
Yeah.
Like you probably have some pretty more in-depth thoughts that would take a much more skilled comedian to get across.
Yeah.
And when you start, you suck. You're terrible. So it's like, all right, well, I'm just going to write, like you said, aimless jokes that are hopefully funny and figure out what that process looks like. How do I write a joke? How do I put them together in an upset, etc. And I feel like just now I'm like kind of getting to that point where I'm transitioning to like, what do I really want to talk about now?
Yeah.
And what's my voice going to be? Because I know how to write jokes now.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at, basically.
That's good.
I had
good.
that conversation with somebody a few years back. First open mic ever, and he walked on and he just aggressively talked about politics.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Hey, man, yes, if that's who you are, like, perfect, but like, you got to remember that." Like the greats is, I want to be Carlin. I was like, yeah, but Carlin didn't start out as Carlin.
No.
Carlin was the hippy dippy weatherman.
Yeah.
And like he became complaints and grievances, and like some people deserve to die, but he didn't start out that way. And like, so you got to learn how to write a joke before you can be taken seriously trying to tell jokes about the things you actually want to talk about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is a weird conundrum.
Oh yeah.
It really is a weird thing as an artist because, you know, as a painter, if you were a painter or if you were a songwriter like I was for 10 years, you hear what you want to do and you're like, I want to do that. Maybe I'm not good enough to do it yet, but I'm going to work towards doing that. In comedy, it's a little different. I feel like you got to take an angle. At the beginning, you're like, okay, well, I got to do what works for an audience.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You do. You have to figure out what works for an audience. Yeah. And then over time, you like kind of earn the right to get into doing stuff once in a while that you actually want to talk about.
And part of it's doing the longer sets also. Like I've got like my waterboarding joke. I absolutely love it. But if I tell that joke on a 5-minute set, I have not built trust with the audience to get to tell this joke where I'm doing a war crime to my girlfriend.
Dude, when I started for like my first year and a half, I closed on a Sandy Hook joke. I do 5-minute sets, and it's a good joke. Like it's technically structured as a pretty good joke. And then
but they don't trust you enough for that shit.
Well, I was getting laughs, but I do think it was a little intense looking back now. And then I watched the Alex Jones documentary that covered that. Like then they go in depth on the Sandy Hook, and I was a high school teacher for 10 years, right?
You've done so many things for 10 years, and you look 22.
That's what I'm saying.
I have done a lot of stuff. Yeah, it's weird.
How old are you? Like, are you
34.
34?
I turned 35 in November.
Well, you seem like you're just like a lot of comics that I meet. We're all ADHD, and we have like 50 things we want to do. Like when you do, like I'm a musician, I'm in a band. I do that. I do the writing and stuff as well. Did you play guitar? You said? Yeah.
I played in a metal band. I played in a band called the Room Colored Charlatan. It was like kind of like technical deathcore shit. That, you know. I did that for like 10 years, and then I did like a solo thing for like 5. Yeah. So just showing off like, this is how good a guitar I am, you know, just like, it was like that mix of like metal and jazz fusion crap together.
That's awesome. Well, it's funny because how much like jazz and metal are very similar. Like, I mean, the way in which
no one likes either of them. Yeah.
Or the people that do are very, very obnoxious. No, I'm just kidding.
It's true. No, that's right. That's true.
And they're on polar opposite sides of the spectrum of music if you made it into a line, but somehow it's like almost becomes like a curve back. Like they meet there.
Here he goes talking about horseshoe.
It's like, God damn it, it's like communism and fascism. They just become the same thing.
Yeah, eventually at some point. I think when it comes to like a lot of people I meet who are good at comedy, like I'm not trying to take a leap here, but I think all the people in this room are really funny at comedy, like in general. Every time I've seen each one of you guys, I've been surprised and I've laughed and I've like, ooh, that's good. And I think that's the difference between like a new comic and somebody I feel like's been doing it a minute and kind of has a little bit of their voice. Is you'll listen to it and be like, ooh, that's a funny joke, or you'll be like, ooh, that's a well crafted funny joke. Like you can see that was I can see the work in that joke. That's a different feeling, I think, because you can watch somebody, you know, kill Tony. You can watch people go up and just get a laugh in a room full of like just saying something insane, or you can watch somebody go up and make a point and say something insane and barely make a point at the end of it. They're making a point, but it means nothing, and it's still hilarious. Like, I've enjoyed that. Like, I watched one of my favorite sets by Dan ever is you going up there and just talking about like depression, but in a way that was so like nuanced and funny that I was like, I related to it in every way.
I wish I'd recorded that set. I don't remember it.
If you can tell the date, man, I probably have it.
You remember it better than me, man.
It was really good. I want you to know that.
Was I drinking?
I don't know. I think you might have been just off of drinking, which might have been it might have been like a real clarity set. You know, you went up there. Now it's one of those things that sometimes when you go up there without like a real thing, if you've been doing it as long and you find a way to like open mics are tough. Let's say that, because you hear the same things. People say the same jokes every week. You're working it out. You need to hear it out loud. You need to hear where things are happening and where the pin's dropping and things like that. And I think that the interesting thing at an open mic usually is the guy who comes in who's either new or the guy that just is random and sporadic, like that just throws random things at you, you know?
Yeah.
Open mics are tough.
Something I've noticed recently, I don't know, how much headlining stuff have you guys done yet?
I don't think I've ever headlined.
Yeah.
I've only featured like 2 or 3 times.
Okay.
So.
Yeah. Okay. Dan?
Yeah, I've headlined a couple times.
He's headlined our show.
So like I'm just I'm mostly just like a feature right now. Yeah. But I'll do like a few like headline-ish sets, right? Like I did at the Drop a couple weekends ago. And what I've noticed is like, man, if you get into that position when you're headlining, you know what I hate? Because I hate waiting through the whole show. But the second thing is you realize that all your premises are so similar to the feature act before you and the opener before you. Probably they're going to hit premises that you're going to hit. Yeah. If you're doing dating jokes like you did when you started, you're going to save that material to headline with. But your openers are going to do that too.
Yeah.
So you realize pretty quickly, like I've started to realize pretty quickly, I really got to get away from stuff I started with, because those premises are already kind of worn by the time you get up there.
Yeah.
And that's a new lesson for me.
That's fun.
You know what I mean? Is like, so I think you have to, if you, by the time you are starting to actually, I'm barely doing a headline set here and there, right? Like I've got one in November at a club in Florida, but that's it, dude, for the year.
Yeah.
Like my goal was to do 5 headline sets this year. I'm going to do 3.
Oh yeah.
Probably, maybe 4.
Let's try to get you another one.
Yeah. So
We can find you one.
So the thing is, like, it sucks to go through and see everyone before you do, like, basically what's going to be your material.
Yeah.
So it's really kind of pushing me to be like, I got to be more unique. I've got to be more, dig a little deeper into myself. You know what I mean?
I do find it interesting that you've spent all this time building up the material, and then you get there and you're like, fuck,
Yep.
got to build up different material now.
I mean, the jokes are different, but it's
yeah.
still the same premises a lot of times, you know, because like how much dating jokes do you do or whatever? I mean, everyone's got like marriage jokes or whatever, but yeah, you don't want to hit all the same stuff. I don't want to hit all the same stuff.
Yeah. And I think that's probably what's going to, is ultimately a successful route in comedy in general, is like being able to like acknowledge like, okay, well, this seems like it's more, maybe I should focus on maybe varying up the type of things that I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Because Sean and I, like, we're similar ages, and we a funny time, like I'll send him a joke that I'm writing, and like, hey, what do you think about this? And he'll be like, fuck. And I'm like, what? And he's like, I just wrote a joke similar. So like age range, race, gender, sexual, like all the things are the same everything. And then we both are single fathers forever. We get to the point where like, fuck, everybody's similar. And it's like we're all like mining the same exact mountain.
At the risk of using buzzwords, like that is one of the reasons that it's important to have a diverse show. Yeah, because like that's true. Just fact. It's not about checking boxes of okay, one girl, one black guy. Like it's not like that. Unfortunately, in a lot of the country is the rule. But
well, that's all we can get here.
It's a lot harder in Indiana.
Yeah. But like when you've got, 5 white dudes, no matter how funny the 5 white dudes are, like you put the 4 of us on a show and we're really only covering like 5 to 9. Like that's the range we're hitting. Yeah. And you put people with different life experiences in, you're going to have a better show. Then there's going to be less of the exact same stuff coming from the headliner and the feature set. Because, like, if you put Gwen after me, there's a little bit of overlap, but we have such different life experiences that even if we both do 45 minutes, like, we're going to have wildly different sets. Yeah. So a solidly diverse show helps that way when obviously it's possible.
She has a different definition of waterboarding. That's all I'm saying.
I think that's why I personally have gone to doing jokes on my life experience.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
To get away from everybody's going to do a joke about what's in the news now. Why don't I tell a joke about something that happened to me as a child, like
Michael
Greyhound
does.
Yes, like Michael does in a way, yes.
But I think it's good though. Like I think if you can kind of, like I said, mine from the 2 different wells. Like you can mine from like the, what I mean? This, I'm going to do this over here. That's kind of like universal and everybody's going to hit. Once I get their trust, maybe then I'll be like, hey, so I was molested when I was, you know what I mean? Whatever you're going to do.
I mean, do you guys struggle? Because like, there's like things from my childhood I would love to talk about, but I'm like, how do I make this into a funny thing for people? Like,
I've had so many stories that I think are funny that turns out they're actually just sad.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They're just sad.
The first time I ever had beer, it was an accident. My stepmom bought a Sprecher beer thinking it was Sprecher root beer, and I took a sip and I was like, oh, I think this is beer. And she's like, no, that's just the foam. And I said, no, it tastes like grandma smells. And I have told that story so many times, and people who aren't damaged just get really sad.
Right. No, I think like there's this from when I was a kid, because I grew up on a farm.
Okay.
Yeah. So it was just different out there, right?
For 10 years, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, for 10 years. Everything was 10 years.
You're such an interesting guy. When you said that, in my head, I was like, I spent 10 years on a farm.
Yeah, no, I basically grew up on a farm, right? That's awesome. So, like, we would have like these stray cats come around all the time. Yeah. And in the winter, they like to get into the car, climb up on the engine block in the middle of the night and stay warm in your car, right? And, 5 o'clock in the morning rolls around, my parents go to leave, my mom goes to leave, she'll back out of the driveway and she'll inevitably hit one of them at some point. That would happen all the time. Yeah. But here was the thing that I find both disturbing and funny. She would like wake me up. I'm like 7, 8, 9. She'd wake me up before work, before I go to school, and she'd go, "Hey, there's a cat outside. It's not dead. It's just flopping around out there. Will you take care of it?" And that was it. And then she would leave, and I'm like, I got to get a baseball bat or something, you know. And then I'd go out and I'd clock these cats until they were done.
Yeah.
And it's like. And here's the thing I realized recently that made it funny to me. I was like, she could have just run it over again.
Just go forward.
But she made it my problem. As like you know,
it seemed like it would take less time than going in the house and be like, "Hey, we need you to get."
Yeah, she could have just reverse, you know, like or whatever.
Hey, I'm going to need you to wake up for a foundational memory here.
That's right. Yeah, and I'm like, to me, it is clearly disturbing. It's a disturbing thing to make your kid do. Like, it is a ridiculous thing, but it's also funny in a way.
Yeah,
I think it's funny, but I don't know how to get it out on stage because that'll just depress an audience.
Oh, you've been beating the pussy up since you were 7.
Yeah, that's it, right?
You could do like a compare. I don't know how much crowd work you do, but like you could do a comparison point either with an audience member or with an imaginary. Just like my friend said, like, "Oh, I had a really rough childhood. I had to I had to murder cats." I'm so sorry you had to dust. Like, one of my chores before sunrise was finishing off, not even fully killing. I had to finish off the cats my mom started murdering.
Yeah, that's what it is. That's exactly. Well, I was thinking like, you know, because I remember doing this, and then I was in like 3rd grade, and I go in and the teacher brings us all around. We're gonna start
worst show in town.
We're gonna warm up with reading a book. I'm like, I'm warm.
Yeah, I'm warm. I'm good. I'm good.
I have murdered a cat this morning already.
That's the bit right there. That's hilarious.
My ex-fiance was from Southern Indiana, and her family had farms, and they had farm cats. And like, it was such an alien concept to me. Like, I had pets, and she had farm cats.
Yeah.
And so like, I would go down and I would feed the cats, and I would play with the kittens and everything. And then like a month later, I'd come down to visit. Like, "Hey, where's that white and black? Oh, that one's dead."
Yeah.
What? Yeah. My mom ran it over when she was backing out, and just super casually dropping that. And it's like, why are you not more bothered by this?
It's true, yeah. Like, city people, or
just
even just slightly more cosmopolitan people didn't grow up that way. They just have a different way of thinking about it. But even now, though, I'm like, that was disturbing. That's horrible parenting. That's you know, like
I've got a bunch of pet jokes that I just don't do at a certain level of rural show.
Yeah.
Because like one of my jokes, one of the lines is that dogs are better than people, because I go into it and I said that to a room, and they were just like, "No, they're not."
Yeah.
Like, why are you talking about my farm tool?
Yeah.
As though it has a personality.
Yeah. They used to think that way about black people.
Certain level of rural.
Yeah, certain level of rural.
Austin.
Yeah, that is insane, dude.
That's funny.
But
yeah, I mean, I think that's it. It's finding the interesting things about you that make you unique and probably formed you as a person in a weird way, but also trying to find the funny in it, because that is the tough part.
Yeah,
like Sean, your grandma's story, like, there are plenty of stories with similar premises. I've got stories about old people with technology, but
I do a similar joke as well. Old people technology.
But you taking it, putting a personalized face on it, like that is what makes the joke work versus just the generic. Yeah, and I had to set up the fucking Wi-Fi for grandma.
Yeah.
My grandma died when I was a junior in high school. I just completely made it up.
Wow, sausage is fucking made.
I know, yeah. How's the sausage made?
My grandfather, I remember one time, he was a farmer, right?
Yeah.
So he didn't know anything about technology, but they did have a computer, and he told me one day he's going to go, he's going shopping for like a new semi-trailer. For the farm. I'm like, he's got to drive like 2 hours to go look at these things. I'm like, you could just get on the internet and look at all the semis you'll ever want. And he's like, I don't know how to do that. So like, just sit at the computer.
Semi?
Yeah. I was like, sit at the computer. I'll show you how to do it. Right. So he sits down, and he doesn't know anything about a computer. And I'm just like, okay, grab the mouse. And this is what he did. And this is what made me realize there was no hope. And you know, the mouse is there, and he goes,
Lifts it up.
He like lifts it up off the table.
Yeah.
And because he didn't know what else to do, you know? And I'm like, all right, just go.
Yeah. Enjoy your drive.
Good luck on your drive. Yeah.
Listen to a podcast or whatever, CV radio.
Yeah.
That was the original podcast, was the CV radio.
The one family joke I have that kind of screwed me over a little, I have a joke that I used to do about my dad, and he didn't talk to me for a while because of that joke. Because I say in the joke that he used to call his bong his favorite son. It's the truth. And that's how I got him to talk to me again. I was like, you're mad because I told the truth to a room full of people?
Also, not talking to you anymore after that kind of just proves the point.
Yeah. I'm going to go hang out with my favorite son.
Right. Well, like Davey's bit about his kid being in the car when he's hotboxing the car.
Oh, yeah.
Like that's a great fucking joke.
Oh, yeah.
And most people that have kids and also smoke weed have some kind of my kid and weed joke, but like whether he's making it up because but like he tells it very personally in a way that works really, really well. So definitely there was a time where it was about just write a joke, tell a joke, and that worked for like Hedberg, for Stephen Wright, but right now is really on a storytelling. Like one of the few people I know that's really, really good at just write a joke, tell a joke is Joe Bates. Like he's still very much from the Rodney Dangerfield school of it, and he loves it. It's what he's good at, so he nails it. But sort of popular comedy is really leaning into the storytelling right now.
Yeah.
Would you agree that it's because of podcasts, people being able to learn the personality of their favorite comedians has made it that?
No, I think it started with like Richard Pryor more.
Yeah, and then like Birbiglia started doing it, and then like you've got even some of the more jokey comics would close on a long story. Like Jim Jeffries will close every special on a 15-minute story, and Daniel Sloss is doing it. So,
I think Jim Jeffries, even as successful as he is, right? He's got like 1 million specials.
Oh,
blah, blah, blah. But I never hear anybody talk about him.
He's very funny.
I think he's the most. I think he's the most underrated comedian, maybe.
Yeah.
Even as successful as he is, he's
very
so
successful,
good.
But he's wildly underrated.
I totally agree. I think Jim Jeffries is
such
master.
a piece of crap that I forgot the guy that I thought was underrated. There was a guy, I was listening to somebody the other day. I can't remember what it was, but I was just like,
why doesn't anybody talk about Cosby anymore?
Yeah, like why doesn't anybody? What happened? What started the reason why I went? No, there was somebody I was listening to, and I'm like, it's weird to me how little people are aware of this person, but they're actually really like. When somebody's writing and you've been doing it, I think it is a weird thing where we do this kind of for a living, like in a way, like we do this in a lot of it. Like we spend a lot of time. I know you do a lot of it.
Yeah.
And so it becomes so much a part of your life that like you'll hear somebody else do it and you'll be like, God, how did they do, it seems so effortless, but you don't see it all.
Is that for me?
Yeah.
Sammy Obeid is a phenomenal talent. Like I'm probably overstating it when I call him a friend, but I'll call him a friend till he tells me to stop. Like he's one of the best, just like technical writers I've ever seen. He's touring internationally now. He did Conan way back in the day. He did 1,001 nights in a row, made a documentary about it, setting a world record of not missing a set for over 3 years.
That's insane.
And like there were nights where he was just running with a PA because he didn't have a set, and like he
told me about that.
Yeah, he dropped into a bar. He's like, "Look, I'm trying to set this record. I've got my documentary people here." Like he got the shit knocked out of him in a bar once because someone was mad he was doing a show, and it was like night 998 that he did Conan, and just the growth that you see from when he was starting, when he was already very funny, to where he was at the end. He's one of the best doing it right now, and he deserves to be so famous, and it pisses me off that he's not.
I figured it out in my head. It's Soder, Dan Soder. I mean, he's known, but like when you sit and listen to like his premises and where he comes from, I'm always like, God, that's such a like nuanced and well thought out version of what I've heard probably 50 people do at an open mic, and it's nowhere near as well thought out.
Yeah.
When you guys were growing, I assume you guys listened to stand up growing up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know here's the weird thing. I grew up on a farm around all the white people, but
all of them,
just that was it.
I remember meeting you.
But I for whatever reason as a kid I was very influenced by black culture, especially like stand-up comedy.
You were rebelling?
I think so. Yeah. And I only listened to black comics, like the Eddie Murphys and the Martin Lawrences and all that stuff, and I didn't even know white people did comedy until I was like 15. I didn't even know they could do it, you know. And then the Blue Collar Comedy Tour came out, and I saw that, and I was like, oh, they can't. No.
Speaks to my experience, and I wish that it didn't.
No, that's a joke. But
that's so funny. No, I'm just imagining you go on stage the first and being like, "There's black people in there," and you're like, "Oh shit, I didn't realize I couldn't do that. I thought that was the way we did
this." Walks out in the Bernie Sanders, Bernie Mac Mac.
Yeah, the Bernie Mac. Yeah.
You don't understand.
Oh, you don't understand. I'm just imagining Bernie Sanders on stage. Oh my
First
God.
comic I ever saw a special for. My stepmom, for all of her myriad flaws, did one really cool thing when she was a professor. She would teach a lesson on nonverbal communication, and she would teach it with stand-up clips.
Oh, nice.
And so she would play a clip of a comedian with the volume all the way down, and she would ask her class, what tone do you think is portraying here? And then she would play it with the sound on, and that is a super cool concept.
That is cool. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But the first comic I ever saw, and you'll probably both appreciate this because you know the kind of person that I've been. The first comic I ever saw was Tim Allen. Just colored who I would be as a big Coke guy. But like when I was watching like the old Comedy Central presents, all those, like I absolutely adored Lynn Koplitz, Rachel Feinstein.
I love Lynn.
Like,
Lynn's
just
great.
hysterically funny, and like I loved Wanda Sykes.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Adored that. And
Her voice drew me crazy.
me too.
Hey.
Like I was more into female comics early on, and then got into some of the male comics like Dimitri Martin. I got on board with, and then
Very funny. Yeah.
I saw
him.
Mitch Hedberg and immediately stopped giving a shit about Dimitri Martin. Which isn't fair because Dimitri's
He's very
funny, but Mitch was just like such a perfected version of what he was doing.
Yeah.
And I was a very all-in on one thing kind of guy. So I'm like, oh, fuck Dimitri. And I've only recently started watching his stuff again.
Yeah.
He's still funny.
He's
like I've
great,
seen.
yeah.
I mean, it's very much his voice is very solid. Like like what you're gonna
Yeah.
get when you watch Dimitri Martin. It's funny because I grew up like my mom used to joke that like if I and this probably sounds horrible now, but my mom used to joke that if I go to I would bounce around schools a little bit. If I went to a new school, my first person I'd be friends with is the black kid. Like that was always like if there was one black kid there, that was going to be my friend.
Well, if we had one, I would have been friends with him.
Yeah, like we had one out there. They all moved away for some reason.
No, we did. We actually had
1800.
two. They were sisters.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Tia and
Were they
Tamara. Tia and
actually
Tamara.
sisters? Or
they
did you
were
guys just
sisters
assume?
with an ER. Yeah.
Sisters. Tia and Tamara were
No,
there.
they were sisters, and but that was it. That was all we had, really.
Funny. I was obsessed with Comic View. Like that's what I watched. Like Bruce. Like that. My older brother was like he was like my idol when I was a kid. Now like not so much. But when I was he's a drug addict. But like when I was
Tell me more.
Yeah, he's a big drug addict. In and out. But I would not the burger. The prison. But he and I we would sit and would just watch Comic View all night, and these hilarious comics would come up, and we would. I really didn't care for white comedy for the longest time because I just thought it was maybe it's like there's no judgment here, but when I was little, maybe it was just like a maturity thing for me in a way. They were very rudimentary in the beginning for me, like especially Comic View because it felt like Black Kill Tony, but better, a little better. You know what I mean? Like in that
it was
way,
definitely more aggressive, much more punchy.
a lot of sex oriented, a lot of things that like a young middle schooler boy would be like, yeah, fuck yeah, I'm fucking a bitch. I'm never.
How much of your act is sex jokes? Like
Not very many.
I think 80% of mine is sex jokes.
Is it?
Oh yeah,
not very many anymore. I feel like I don't
I
think
don't
is
really
it?
have any.
Yeah,
I do so much sex jokes.
Yeah.
That's like that's like most of my act. Like it's ridiculous.
You
yeah.
were informed by Black comedy. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, man. No, I don't know.
funny.
It's just like I don't know why that. I mean, that topic is so easy. It's an easy topic.
So
right?
yeah.
get Byron Allen on the phone.
Yeah.
Somebody.
But I do want to move away from it.
Yeah.
Not because I don't love doing sex jokes. It's just I want to talk about other stuff. You know?
Yeah.
But when you start, you're just trying to figure out what's going to work.
And
Really
what
looking
makes you
forward to
laugh?
the pivot for you? You're like, okay,
Yeah.
so I was fucking my girl the other day, and now let's talk about Jade Helm.
Well, I'm working on a bit right now that seems like it's going to have some legs. And I didn't mean to. By the way,
No, you're great.
I'm
You're great.
interrupting
Go
your
ahead.
thing there, Jordan. Sorry.
I don't even remember what I was talking about. Go ahead. You're
No, I'm working on a bit right now that I'm actually kind of excited about because it seems like it's got some legs. But the second thing is it like actually might share my perspective a little bit, which
Yeah?
most my jokes don't. Right? They're just fun, silly jokes I've written. But it's about how like my brain works, and my brain is basically goes back and forth between profundity and perversion. That's the whole all day. It's just doing that, and you know how it is. Do you guys write your jokes on your notes in your phone and stuff? So like all day, I can see in my notes like my brain going back and forth. Like I'll write, like I wrote the other day. This is part of the bit, but it's true. I wrote, I wrote the great irony is that in the equation of life. impermanence is the only constant.
Yeah.
And then the note below that says women's asses should have sponsorships. So it's like that's how my brain is working. But I like that because it's like, yes, it's still sexual, but it's more about my perspective and how my brain works and how it's at 35. I didn't think it would hang around this long. I didn't think horniness would hang around this long.
Yeah.
I thought it would fade away.
I think eventually, hopefully it does.
I've asked older people.
Yeah.
I've asked people in their like 50s and, in their 60s. I'm like, does it go away? And they're like, not really.
Maybe you can trick another 6-year-old to ask them. Maybe they lie to us young people because they just want to keep the hope alive.
So I had a similar thing, different sort of application to it, but it was like I love just good, smart comedy.
Yeah.
And then also the dumbest, most absurd shit. So like I'll sit there and I will watch, classic George Carlin, and then about 6 months ago, I laughed for a solid 5 minutes straight, like an uncomfortable amount of time to be laughing by yourself because it was cold outside and my dog's poop was steaming. Like just the dumbest thing in the world to find funny at all, but that funny.
Yeah.
And then I'm sitting here just getting mad at like political humor for not being highbrow enough.
Yeah.
That's a literal observation comedy right there.
Yeah.
Just observing the shit.
By the way, is any of this interesting for anybody that will be listening to this?
Yeah, they should. I think a lot of people that listen to this are like comedy adjacent. I think that's mostly. I think people like to know how the sausage is made a little bit. But yeah, I like.
Yeah, sometimes you make up jokes about your grandma.
Yeah, sometimes your grandmas are
jokes.
dead. Yeah,
I'm devastated, Sean.
Well, that's another question I have for you guys.
You thought that was real, Dick?
I thought so.
Were you
killed my
unplugged her?
grandma?
Look, sometimes they deserve it, but like,
They do.
I thought it was taken to an exaggerated place, but the story premise made sense to me. I
My
believed
grandma
it.
was constantly, like, when she was alive, she was constantly like, the millennial generation sucks.
Well, then obviously it is about her. You motherfucker. We knew you didn't
You're
kill
taking
her.
me on a journey here.
Yeah.
But I thought you really thought that, like I went and no, she
No,
died
No,
when
I didn't
was
think
in
it was
high
a
school.
documentary, but like...
Yeah. But yeah, so in a way, yes, there's truth to it.
Okay.
But
That's better because if you just made it all up, it would be worse. I think. I feel like the fact that it is based off of your life, though. That's the important part.
Well, that was going to be my next question for you guys. Actually, this is why I like hanging out with comics to see how you guys work and stuff.
Yeah.
Because how much of your material is like is real or is actually based off something real? Because like I don't know, probably 80% of my, and maybe the premise is something real.
Yeah.
Like I'm a high school teacher, right? And I'll talk about some teacher stuff, but most of the jokes have nothing to do with reality.
Yeah.
They're just made up. I make them up.
So do you start it? I mean, when you write, typically, do you write the punchline before you write the setup, or do you write the?
No.
I'm gonna talk about
well,
this
maybe
subject?
maybe I'll have something funny in mind.
Yeah.
This is good. Like, how do you guys approach a joke? Because I don't have like a formula for how I get to the funny thing. I do have a formula for how I write tags.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I don't have I don't really know how to get to the original creative moment of the funny punchline. You know what I mean? Like that's like a God-given gift.
I feel like those just strike like lightning too sometimes because like I've had like I was in the car driving to a gig we were doing in Muncie. I don't want to say the place. You know why? Hey, I'm just kidding. No, we were driving to a gig in Muncie, and I was joking around with these guys, like everybody in the car, and I hit this punchline joke. It was like just a play on words, and everybody was dying, and they're like, "You should do that as a joke," and I'm like, "I don't." Okay, and I did it on stage that night, and the version of it was not very good. Like it was the punchline was Jerry hat trick. Like when you sleep with 3 women, that's a Jerry hat trick. Like it's like a stupid play on. And it originally started like, is there 3 older women here that want to go home with me? I'm trying to get a Jerry hat. It wasn't very good, but now the way I hit it now, it's like a solid. It like every room I'm usually able to
breaking
get
hips.
Yeah, I'm breaking hips, man. But and then later on, I was like, there's a part of me that was like, it's a good. I came from the punchline from a different direction, and now I have a whole thing about kinks, and I created a whole chunk
the whole
about
thing
it.
around it. Yeah,
and then there's another punchline I added that's another like play on words, and usually I'm like I do the joke as in like I'm sorry I'm doing that. Like this is stupid.
Right. When you do like those pun jokes, that's how you handle it. Yeah.
I kind of like I know, and then I'll go into a story or something. But like most of the things that I like the jokes that I love, Like I love both. I love stupid puns and stupid jokes. Those are fun for me, and I feel like you need those quick hitters in a set sometimes, just to like either to start it or to like get them back real quick, or to like to. But there's a part of me that like the one that I wrote. There's one recently that I wrote that I'm really excited about that I think has legs as well, and it's basically about witnessing a public custody exchange and how like fun that is for me.
Yeah.
Like to watch it and just see the energy. Like the energy is like it shifts the energy of like in my own car of like you're at a Walmart and all of a sudden you just see it and you're like, oh, you instantly recognize what it is.
That's a unique premise too. I've never heard anybody talk about
I haven't either, and I looked because I was like, have I heard? Because like it happened to me. I was like, I think I was either at a gas station or a Walmart, or not a Walmart, a McDonald's, one of the two. And I changed the location all the time because I'm like, I want to be able to talk about this other one, because there's a part with my stepsister where I went with her to a gas station, and that actually happened when I was younger, which is how I recognized it. Because I've been here before. Like this is cool, you know. I went with my stepsister, not that kind of stepsister. Get your head out of the dryer, you know what I mean? Something stupid like that. And it's like it's a fun little goofy thing, but like that to me, I want to work on that bit so much because I just love it. There's that one, and then that iPhone shuffle bit that I'm really excited about, but I still have not figured it. I got to figure that motherfucker out. I love doing bits because it's like there are puzzles. Sometimes they are puzzles where you're like, ooh, like when you come up with a new idea. But a lot of my jokes, I'll write down small, like 2-3 word phrases, and then I'm like, and then I'll just sit there in my brain and just ruminate over what I'm thinking. And then that night or a couple weeks or a couple days later, I'll go to an open mic and I'll say it out loud. And sometimes it's not very good. And sometimes I'm like, ooh, that was surprising. So it just kind of depends when I'm writing.
Do you guys write your jokes out entirely
So for me personally, I have to talk about my process first. What I'm trying to do right now is to start the first half of my sets with enough self-deprecating stuff to get you to feel sorry for me so I can make wild claims at the second half of my set.
Now, that's what most comedians do, and it's a smart move. Yeah. I just come out being an asshole right away. It really is.
Zero goodwill.
I really do that. And but I admire people that do that, but I can't do self-deprecation.
It makes sense for you because
I just look
you're great in shape and you're handsome, and I do think great head of hair.
I'm a fat guy. So.
It just the self-deprecation just doesn't work for me. I've got to go.
Like, fuck you.
I have to go like the opposite direction.
Oh, did you cut your chin on your other chin?
Yeah.
Cut your arm on your chin?
Go ahead. Sorry. Yeah.
But so I go in with the subject that I know I want to write about. I write the full joke out until I care about laughs per minute, so I try to put multiple punchlines in every joke. And then I'll just go back in, or I'll send it to him or Brian, and I'll be like, what do you think about this? And they'll be like, oh, well, maybe I have a tag here, I have a tag here. What if you said this? I'll do it on stage, and then I'll try to find the better punchlines. And then...
And the order sometimes, too. Yeah, sometimes there's a different order.
I'll change the order around. So, like this Trump joke I have, which one of his favorite jokes... The order, there was just something wrong with the order. Yeah. And I've messed with the order a little bit, and I think it's better now for that.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it went really well this last week when we went out, and I think you even did the order differently than we talked, because I think you like ending on the. I want to end with the Suge Knight. Yeah. And I get that. I do feel like our mic probably sways more that age range. I feel like if you flip the other way in like a room full of like older people, like boomerish people. I don't know. Boomers alive still. I don't know.
With the. So basically the joke is saying that I'm not one for political hot takes, but I believe in his heart of hearts Trump is a black man. Yeah. So the first punchline is about him. Originally the first punchline was about him having signature sneaker, 34 felonies, paying off a side bitch, and then shot in front of his entourage twice. If this was the 90s, Suge Knight would have been signed him to death row.
Yeah. And it's interesting, and it's funny because you can see different crowds react to it. Like the white people, you'll see them react like, "Oh yeah!" And then I've watched him do it in front of like a couple of black guys at one show, and I knew he had this nervous energy about doing it in front of them, and I watched them all like yeah, it's funny, like so stupid, because I do think they really correlate. Yeah, but it's a base level correlation. You know what I mean?
Well, that joke also works because you're making fun of the stereotypes.
Yeah,
The problem that a lot of jokes like that have is they are relying on the stereotype. And you are poking fun at it, and that's why the joke works instead of just being shitty, hacky, and kind of racist. the first time I ever heard you start that joke, I'm like,
oh no,
hell.
oh no.
And then like, okay, no, what you did with it worked really well. And it was one of the reasons I knew that I was going to like you.
Yeah.
But like it was a risky joke, and I understand you being a little bit nervous about it, but the way that you do it and the care you take in the writing of that joke shines through and makes it work.
Yeah.
Thanks, Dan.
I
care.
am not good at writing. Like I am purely an inspiration writer. Like,
Oh, really? Okay.
95% of my set is stuff that happened to me.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say like I only write whenever it hits me, and I'm like, oh, you're just lazy. Okay, cool. I'm just fucking with you.
Like there are people like Tyson will sit down and say, okay, I'm going to write for 2 hours, and if I get 2 really good jokes out of this, then perfect. I cannot do that. I get distracted, or I'll just run into a wall. If I have something that happens to me that I want to write a joke about, I can sit down and I can hammer it out. I can write tags. Like when I was a substitute teacher, I knew immediately, okay, these 2 things are ripe for the joke. And then like, this is what happened and it's already kind of funny. And here's how far I think I can stretch the stuff that I'm making up on the joke.
Yeah.
But the idea of just like, okay, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to write a joke about my time in the Army.
That's tough.
Cannot do that.
No, I agree. I think that's hard too. I'm kind of like that too. I mean, I write all the time, but it is like kind of like I have an inspiration for a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, or here's the idea that I get or whatever. And then I actually try to sit down and hammer it out. But it's interesting is...
Hi, it's Sean D. If you enjoy the Kokomo Press podcast, you should come out to the open mic at the Highmark. That is 3840 South LaFountain Street in Kokomo, Indiana. We do 15 spots on every open mic. You could sign up on the page. You could sign up there. Sign up start at 7:30. Show is always at 8. You'll see people like Michael Howard, Brian Allen West, Jordan Grainger, myself, and you'll also see people from all over Indiana, and we've even had people come from further. Please come out, check out the open mic. If you feel like trying out comedy, this is the place for you. Thanks, guys.
Have you guys noticed your writing style change?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I would say for most of my time now, for most of my first 3 years or whatever in comedy, my style is more from a writing standpoint, more Mark Normandy or like Anthony Jeselnik like.
Yeah.
Because it's what I've always kind of liked is like set up, hard punchline, big laugh.
Yeah.
And you were talking about how you like your laughs per minute to be high. I think I'm a little less than that. I think I like to have build up, tension, boom, big punchline, and then let the laugh go. But like Louis is my favorite of all time, and he's not like that. He's not like that. He's just constant laughs and then big laughs. Like he's just a master of writing, right? So I'm trying right now to adjust my writing style to be more conversational, where the punchlines are kind of hidden, and they just kind of come up super consistently, right? Whereas you watch someone like Anthony Jeselnik, he's going towards a punchline.
Yeah.
It's coming, and it's just a build up with more and more tension through his setup.
And you're thinking, what's the most horrible possible thing that could be said right here? And then he says something way more horrible.
Yeah, and you just could not have expected it.
Right.
And I think he's a brilliant writer.
Oh, yeah, he's fantastic.
I mean, he's really mastered the misdirection.
Mm-hmm. I think somebody said, I don't remember who it was, but it could have been you when we were talking one time, but somebody had told me like the longer the setup, the better the punchline has to be. Because if you're dragging this long setup out, and then all of a sudden it's just like a firecracker. If you're just like,
it has to be worth it,
and then it goes, and it means nothing if you spend all that money. So like if you're going to force these people to sit through a setup, you've got to have and I think that to me, I think that puts a lot more pressure on you.
Oh, 100%
like
does.
You're like, if this fizzles, I've lost.
It 100% does. Yeah. But I like it in a way because it makes the joke feel a little more brilliant, I think.
Yeah.
But see, by that I lean more into the Daniel Sloss and the Birbiglia, where it's a longer story with lots of mini punchlines in to get them laughing throughout so that they will sit through the longer story.
Right. Yeah.
Like when I'm doing my military equipment joke, like the big laugh is on the struggles with linoleum. But before that, I'm like, first sergeants love historically being questioned in front of everybody. And then a couple more beats, and he did answer while I was doing push-up. Like there's lots of littler things that will get the people to enjoy
wait around
themselves
for that punchline.
and then the big laugh is bigger than the others, but they're not sitting there just listening to me talk for a while waiting for the joke.
Yeah, and by long, I mean in like 30 to 40 seconds.
Oh, yeah, and my stories are much longer than that.
Yeah,
Like I
I don't have any
definitely
long
lean
stories.
into the storytelling side of it more than the traditional stand-up
Yeah.
side.
Yeah. So
I like stories too. That's kind of like my thing as well.
I don't do. I mean, all my jokes are very short stories, but
Yeah.
I don't have any what I would call stories.
Yeah.
that I don't really do. I'm just a joke writer, right? So I would say I'm very inspired by someone like Jeselnik, but Louis is my favorite stylistically, and his humor is brilliant
And offstage behavior.
Yeah, and offstage, yeah, I've really learned a lot from him.
I really learned a lot from him.
But I would love to get to that. I mean, no one's going to be as good as Louis C.K. is at his comedy. He's just a god amongst men in terms of comedy.
writing and just knowing his.
But I've been like really trying to break down his writing style and what he does. And I mean, do you guys ever take someone's bit, a bit you love? Like it could be a famous bit.
Yes, I know
and
where
then,
you're
and then
going.
write it out, and they're like, okay, what is it? How did he structure this? How did they put this together? And like I'll take a bit from like Louis' Oh My God special or something. Like his opening bit, I did this recently. His opening bit is on the old lady and the dog. Have you guys heard this bit? Yeah. So, and I read it, and if you look at it, I mean, he gets like 5-6 laughs in the very beginning of this bit. No punchlines.
Yeah.
Why are they laughing?
Yeah.
So I look at it and I highlight every line that gets a laugh. His descriptions. He's a master of writing descriptions in his setup.
Yeah.
He's not doing punchlines, and I'm like, that's so fascinating. Like I don't do that in any of my jokes.
So it kind of presses you to be like, oh, I should try this.
See, I look at Josh Johnson doing stuff like that. Like Josh Johnson.
I refuse to watch him.
He's so
I can't because he's too prolific to the point that like I'm afraid that things he talks about are going to seep in because he puts too much out. Because if you fall in love with somebody who has so much material, it's a never ending thing where you're like, I don't want.
The catch is he's very current events heavy,
and that's part of it. And I like talking about. You've seen me at the mics.
Yeah.
Like I'll throw a current like a little Tay joke in there.
But like I'll watch this guy and. There's times that the joke is so funny I don't even laugh. I'm just like, fuck, that's good.
Yeah.
Like, and it'll be just a little way he'll tilt his head. And it's not just about the writing. Like, he's a very good writer, but it's also the entire thing he's doing on stage. And he's so likable and unassuming. And relatable gets thrown around a lot, but he builds this bridge with his audience that is phenomenal. Like watching him explain the Kendrick Drake beef to a room full of white people for 45 minutes was flawless.
You mean Drake fans? Just say Drake fans.
These were white enough that they didn't know who Drake was. They were like,
that's white.
That level
We're talking about white in there.
Yeah. It was real white.
I literally don't know like any Drake songs.
Yeah, my son is a huge.
You heard some. You just
I'm sure
don't
I've
know
heard them. Yeah.
Kendrick. I'm a bigger fan of Kendrick than I am Drake. My son is like a huge fan. I like Drake.
You like
songs.
winners.
Yeah, I like winners. I like but that's kind of, I'm a writer, not just comedy, but I write music and I write poetry, and like when I'm doing that, and I like to write fake news, and I like to write. Do you know what I mean? So all
Jordan
this
has come out on this special.
come out as a
or on this episode.
Jordan is gay. No, I write so much that like for me. I enjoy like when the way you just said, like the reaction to it's like you're reacting to a bar, like when like a rapper says something, and that's how I kind of am sometimes when I'm listening to certain comedians where I'm like, ooh, like that. I had that moment with Soda recently, and I'm like, God, he does not give enough. And building what you're talking about, I think that's super important because building a type of performance, because like when you brought up Josh, that was when you were talking about the way he had held his head, it reminded me of what you said about your stepmom. Your mother, your stepmom, right?
Yeah, stepmom.
And the way she taught you about the physicality of portraying a tone without using vocals and zero, audio recognition. So like, I feel like the same way with Louis is he's found a way to use the audio to do, so it's the opposite kind of in a way. He's using the audio and the way he's using certain terms. There's a really funny thing that I'm a huge Patrice O'Neal fan because I just think
Patrice was
he's so
phenomenal.
good and just in a way that it's so unique and different. And I wish
Him and Greg Giraldo both.
Greg Giraldo is one of my favorite.
He's one of my top 5 of all time.
He to me, Greg Giraldo, and I know this. You might get his LPM was insane. Like that dude would just.
I think his bit on Civil War letters is one of my favorite bits.
Oh, it's so good.
It's like one of my favorite bits of all time.
Yes. Oh, good. Yeah, I fuck dearest Anna. Like that's the way.
So good, dude.
We are fighting wars and shit. Like the way he
but
says.
that's such a great example of one of the keys of comedy is comparison.
Yeah.
Right. Like the whole bit is just comparison one to the next. Right. And I actually used that as inspiration for this bit I was talking about earlier about my own brain being between profundity and perversion.
Yeah.
Oh, it's comparison is the engine of the comedy here. And that bit is a perfect example of that.
Yeah. I like the concept of somebody like you choosing the right words, but Patrice has this thing where he's like, it's different. I think it's something along the lines of like something in a Buick versus like a different version. Like if you use like a Hyundai, and he's like going through and he's like the different, I think it might be in the green room with Paul Provenza. He explains
I think it was on the Colin Quinn show.
Was it Colin Quinn's?
Yeah.
He's so good.
Maybe not. I don't know.
Yeah.
Geraldo's fight on Tough Crowd with Dennis Leary.
Yes.
That's a good clip too. That's how you know you're a real comic when you start watching.
We're going back.
Yeah. These are good shit. And it just shows like the deep dives you take. Like like I like listening. It's weird because we're doing it, but I like listening to comics talk about comedy because when you are even people I know people that have never done comedy, probably will never do comedy, but they will watch these things because they're obsessed with like the mind of people that write. jokes.
Maron's podcast was is huge, and it's not just because comics are listening to it.
Yeah. I can't. He drives
I'm
me
looking
crazy.
at the Dan Alton sticker and just hoping that you don't say anything about
I'm not, and it's not going anywhere. It's not going anywhere. I love you, Dan. I've said nice things about him. I always will. I've featured for him. Like I love the guy, but like I think sometimes people think that my Facebook is serious. And I think they need to realize that my Facebook is not serious. I almost thought about putting a disclaimer like on my Facebook to be like, these are jokes. Like most of what I'm saying is thought provoking and
Look,
jokes.
motherfucker, you got a blue check mark.
I know. And you motherfucker, anytime that's everybody's go-to when they're fighting, when they argue with me, it's like, Mr. Blue check mark. And I'm like, dude, you can have one. Like they're not, I'm not, you can just buy one now. Like if you want one, like,
there you go.
Like, when Facebook, and I'm trying to work on a bit on stage about it. I cannot figure it out at all.
I'm
going
you,
to
like
working it
doing
out.
The beginnings of
it's horrible.
There's something there. Though.
There's something there, but like I can't explain that we get paid from Facebook because I think people are like, fuck you. Immediately once I say, well, we make money from Facebook, so I take some of that money and give it back to Facebook and say, give me a blue check mark. So that the real reason, and it's really hard to explain this on stage, but the real reason I have the blue check mark is whenever we have issues with our page, I have a quicker line to them than if I did it.
Like social media shit is my day job.
Yeah, so like, and you get it, and it's like people that don't understand social media in that way don't understand that like we get when people are mad at a post, when people are mad at a joke, a fake news article, we get bombarded with people just constantly reporting, report. So then I've had many times where the algorithm or people have reported something, and then Facebook will be like, "We're taking this down," and like you're getting a huge strike, and now you're no longer allowed to add new. You can't. We won't recommend you. We won't do this, and then I have to go in and explain to them like, "Here's the reason why. It's a joke. It's clear." And then like within 15 minutes, everything's back to normal. And then I delete the joke because I'm like, I'm not doing it anymore. Like I'm not gonna. But like,
because it'll get taken down again in like 30 minutes.
And once the algorithm finds it, because if the people find it and then they do it, then the algorithm will find it, and then you have to explain it twice. But it's a very frustrating thing because people will. It's a funny. It's like a default that people will go, I go, Mr. Blue check mark, and I'm like, all right, man.
Well, I mean that's Elon Musk's fault.
Yeah.
Because Elon Musk was the one that made it
yet again
very obvious. Mecha Hitler.
That was the funniest
but Elon Musk was the one that made it very obvious that you could just buy a blue check mark.
Yeah.
Over on Twitter. And so like Elon Musk devalued the importance of being verified on any social media platform.
Yeah.
And like from a real standpoint, having the extra tools for moderation, for just the business support home is so much better than just the regular Facebook support.
Yeah. Like it's hard to, like it's
you
so
can
hard
talk
to
to a
explain.
person in 10 minutes instead of, we'll get back to you fucking never.
Yeah, we'll review it and get back to you. That's the worst thing you can hear when you have 30,000 and this is like a way that we do everything. We like there's a multi-face apparatus here. Like it's tough, man.
What this is going off topic a little bit. That's okay. What's the most valuable, this is for all of you. What's the most valuable thing you've ever lost by telling a joke?
That's a good question. My innocent. I'm just kidding. It wasn't very valuable.
Money, friendship, job. You guys ever lost anything by telling a joke?
Yeah.
I mean, I lost an entire page from telling it. I mean, I lost 17,000 followers from telling it. Well, the worst part was it was from Brian telling a joke. It was from Brian telling a joke, and then I lost the page. And he's apologized, and it's like I always can hold it over his head, so it's nice. I'm like a woman in this relationship. I get to just hold something over his head for years. No, we had a page called the Kokomo Scanner 2.0 that like when I got it, a guy had built it up to like 3,500 followers, and I took it over, and we were at like almost I'd say 17. We lost 17, but 14,000 on that one. Brian and I also created a page called Consumers Against Tipping, which was like it was a fake page that we were like trying to and losing that page to Facebook. It was just like a troll page, and within 2 weeks we had almost like over 17,000 followers, close to 18,000 followers in 2 weeks. We were like trending on Reddit. I got a message from Vice Media. They had this food version of Vice that was wanting to do an article on us, like to be the experts about not tipping, which was hilarious because
that is funny.
Like it was all a troll, and I had responded to everybody like it was like I was serious because I really didn't.
I remember interacting with that page, and
did you say something horrible?
No, I knew that you guys were joking.
Yeah.
But the problem was there were people that didn't know you were joking that agreed with your joke. And it's like, fuck, these are the dumbest and also worst people.
But that is literally our bread and butter. Like our whole entire shtick of a satire page is, for us anyway, is we take the least common, the LCD of human, we write a joke about it, and then we bring them out
on the floor of Congress.
And we bring them out, and then they all get upset and they believe it, and then we end up the comment section is for my friends to just snipe them, boop, boop, make fun of them all day. That's what we're supposed to do, and I do that. I started doing it on my personal Facebook, and it's not working as well because people are just thinking of me as a rage baiter, and I'm like, well, it's kind of just who I am as a person. I like to just say things like an opinion or something, and then let people argue in the comments. I could give two shits what they have to say, and the problem is half of those people are actually my friends. So like I worked with a guy for a while locally, a comic. There's a huge riff in their group, and part of it is because Brian made a joke and then he got mad because somebody invoked him and he wasn't even part of the page, and then he came to me and argued with me, and I was like, dude, I didn't even write the joke. Also, the thing that you're asking me, I did already before you asked me. I told them you weren't involved in the page. Part of it was because I was like, I want people to think the page is funny. If you're involved, it's not as funny. And then after all that was said and done, like now it's like a Bloods versus Crips thing, but with white people. So like I don't know, like
interesting, yeah.
Baby blue versus
less interesting.
Fuchsia, way less interesting because it's just
But you said like people were taking you like serious for
people take
or they were taking you as like the expert on whatever the consumers
against tipping thing was funny because like Brian and I sat down and did an entire interview with the Catfish from MTV. Like they're the production group. They were trying to create an episode or like a special about trolls and the trolley. And I think we lost the page, and it negatively impacted the fact that Brian and I just wanted to make it on TV because we thought it would be a cool thing to put on a resume one day.
I do think it's funny when people like assume your expertise because you have something on the internet.
But, it is stupid.
Like I wrote an article in 2017 that got published in the Huffington Post about the World Pride event in Madrid, Spain. Because I was there. I was in Madrid at the time. I was at the event, and I was just happened to be writing stuff.
He was in Madrid for 10 years.
No big deal.
That's hilarious. Yeah, no, I was there with my ex-girlfriend who...
Yeah, you said you were a Spanish broad.
Yeah, I used to date a girl from Spain. And so I was there, and I was writing stuff at the time, and I wrote this article, and so the Huffington Post published it. But
that's awesome.
So that was in 2017. This year, like 2 months ago, some queer publication reached out to me and was like, hey, we're writing a whole thing on the history of the LGBTQ pride events of the world. We want to interview you for it. I'm like the straightest guy on earth. You know what I mean? Like I have no...
Well, maybe I saw your photo and was like, he's a little...
yeah. No, it's like, just like, I don't feel like I'm the person you should be interviewing for this at all.
That is the worst attitude for a comedian. You got to self-promote.
I guess.
Jump on every show, whether you belong there or not.
I guess, yeah. That's why I don't do that.
So who books that?
But that's why I don't do like Tyson's show or whoever show it is, the Monster, the Dungeons and Dragons. I don't, because I've never played Dungeons and Dragons. They're like, would you want to do this? I'm like, I would be horrible for that.
Yeah. I mean, I would love to play the character, but I feel like I would be taken away from some, because I think you're playing a character, right? You just go in there and you do I like doing voices. I like goofing. I like that. I like scenarios. I think that would be a lot of fun, but I don't like D&D because I I get cringed out from other people doing it. I'm okay if I do it, but when somebody else does it, I'm like, ooh, fuck, you're not as good. Or
it's kind of like masturbating.
Yeah, it's exactly. It's okay if I do it.
You're like, I like it when I do it, but when other people do it around me.
Yeah, when other people do it around me, I say, Louis, stop. I didn't say it was okay. I'm kidding. Did you have something happen to you that you got canceled majorly? Is that? No. I just like, I mean, I've had throughout my life, right? Like I knew I didn't know I was a when I became a comedian, it wasn't like, oh, I'm going to try to do comedy now. Yeah. It was more like it felt like coming out. I was like, oh yeah, okay, yeah, this is just what I am. Yeah. I've always been this.
So brave.
Yeah, I was so brave. But I've lost friends over jokes. Yeah. I've lost a job over a joke. Yeah, like I haven't lost a job, thank God. Yeah. I lost a job over just a silly joke. I've gotten in trouble at work for jokes that I just,
I've definitely gotten in trouble at jobs. I remember I was managing a Ross Dress for Less.
Hell yeah.
And I posted on Twitter, if my boss keeps hiring these hot girls, I'm going to fuck one of them. And then the next day I get called.
That's way worse than what I said.
And now, like, the thing is, I did. So, like, it was, like, I was just telling the truth. I did. Yeah. But, like, I've definitely, there's people who I literally went to war with that don't kick it with me anymore because of certain jokes I've told.
Yeah.
And, like, it sucks.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I do think social media has done this thing. I'm going to get on a soapbox.
Let's get you one.
Social media has done this thing where we stay connected to people decades longer than we need to.
Oh yeah.
Like the fact that like there are people.
Preach.
About 5 years ago, this dude posted some like wildly aggressively racist shit on one of my Facebook posts, and I was like, hey man, I want you to know that's super not okay. And this was me essentially playing to the audience here. Like, I blocked him, but I also needed people to see me saying, what the fuck, dude, that's not okay. Because like when you block someone, sometimes their thing's still there, and sometimes it disappears for you. And if it disappeared for me, then anybody that saw that status forever was just going to see an unchallenged, wildly racist thing there. So I needed that there. And then I blocked him. And like, I thought about it. This is a dude who I had worked with at Fazoli's when I was 16. So like, we had not seen each other in 18 years. In what world should this person have any of my space?
Unlimited soup, salad, and French.
Yeah. I ate 18 of those breadsticks one time.
Dude, you know what? Was it good? You were shitting. It took you a year to shit.
Yeah, dude. Like, it just the social media thing. Like, it used to be, you graduate high school, the people who you are friends with, you still talk to. You go to college with them. You grow apart, but every now and then, you'll be on a vacation. You'll send each other a letter, and then nobody else do you see unless you go to a high school reunion to see who got pregnant, who got fat, whatever. Yeah. And then you go back to not talking to them again. And now, like,
after you sleep with one, but yeah.
Oh well, yeah. Of course. But now, like, your coworker's father-in-law will say some wild shit, and you're worried about blocking them or saying something to them because then it could get awkward between you and your coworker at work. And just people who should not have access to you have access to you, and people who, like, you should not be talking to years ago will suddenly pop up. Like, this dude, when Beto O'Rourke was talking about taking guns away years ago, as though he was ever going to be president.
I'm sorry, Beto.
Who? Beto O'Rourke wanted, like, he kept running for like one level down. So like, I assume he's going to be on like a school board soon and lose that one too. But like, he was talking about taking guns, and this guy that I went to high school with chimed in and said, if Beto O'Rourke shows up at my house, I'm going to shoot him in the fucking face. I'm like, so you're just casually talking about shooting a presidential candidate in the face here. I'm okay not having that energy.
Yeah.
And 20 years ago, I never would have known that he had that opinion, but because of social media, it just pops up in front of me. And it just... Facebook helped me reconnect with my brother for the first time in 20 years, about 10 years ago, and it was incredible. Like, I got to know my brother, my sister-in-law, my niece, my nephew. I am incredibly grateful for it. But much more often, social media is opening you up to people who you have no reason to be connecting with.
Yeah.
And nothing good comes of it.
I think in the future, if we want to continue to have social media, AI is going to take over, because AI is taking over everything, and it's going to decide. Well, we think since their habits, your habits, you can add them to your Facebook because they're going to be okay in your group. But
they're going to be like AI is going to be like friendship curators.
Yeah, exactly. They'll be like,
I mean, it already kind of is with the people you may know.
It's true. Yeah.
I mean, it's true.
This is Kokomo though. There's a lot of racism here, right?
Yeah. I think we're a lot better than we used to be.
I got a story.
Hell yeah, let me hear it. I want to hear the story.
I actually, okay, so I don't live here obviously, but like I actually own a house 5 minutes from here, like a rental property.
Oh yeah, that's awesome.
So I bought it, and as soon as I bought it, I went in to check it out, make sure everything was good, and I was going to do some work on it and stuff. But the neighbor next door was this old lady next door, and she comes over, and it's me and my wife, and she's like, "Oh, hi guys." She's like, I just found out this was going to be a rental and you weren't going to live here and you guys look like such a nice couple. And I was like, yeah. She's like, I'm really disappointed it's going to be a rental. And I'm like, well, why is that? Like, I was like, what's the deal? And she goes, I swear to God, this is exactly what she says. She goes, well, just don't rent to the blacks. God dang. That's all that's around here.
She was talking about a family. And we all don't like the blacks.
And she was saying it to me like I didn't already know that. No, I'm just kidding. No, but she did say that.
Yeah, it's
and as
crazy.
soon as she said that, I was like, I'm going to rent this to the blackest people I can find,
I'm looking for a family of people with dreads.
Yeah. But I thought that was so crazy. She said that directly to my face. Yeah. That was right here, like, just 5 minutes from here.
I'll say that I don't think there's more racism in Kokomo than there is anywhere else. I do think that the people who are racist in Kokomo are super comfortable with it.
It's the level of comfortability to say it, because you really will meet people that'll say something, and I had a lady. I have a bit. I barely do it now because everybody gave me too much. And I would do it in rooms and it would go well, but it just got to the point where it's like I don't want to keep doing this because I want it to be a better joke than it is. But it was like I was at work and this lady came. I have the start of the joke is I have the type of face that people like to say weird shit to. I have a face. I would say I have resting clan face because people will come up to me and just say racist shit, and it might be because I'm from here. Maybe it's not resting clan face. Maybe it's just Kokomo. But I had a lady come up to me at work and was like, "Hey, did you see we have Juneteenth off?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And she's like, "Don't they already have Martin Luther King Day?" And the funny thing, if I do that in certain rooms, there's a huge laugh right there because they agree. And I'm like, God damn. But then I have to spend, like you saw me do it in, where was it? Newcastle? I spent the next 5 minutes talking shit to the people in the audience because I'm like, fuck you all. Yeah. Oh, you guys think that's funny. So then I start making
funny in two different directions. If you agree with her, that's funny.
Insane.
But but the other side is that's insane.
And that's my perspective on it is why the fuck would you say that to me? Now I have to carry the burden of your racism?
Well, there was the guy in Dunkirk that was super casual, the DJ.
Yeah, I think it might be an Indiana thing, guys. I don't know if it's a good I'm just getting
Well, I say that I look like the wrong kind of ally. And people are comfortable being fucked up to me.
It's the beard.
I've got this joke. I think I did it at your guys' mic once about going into a Mexican restaurant and my uncle going in there and seeing this family across the room that didn't speak any English, and he yelled at him. He's like, hey, I think if you live in America, y'all should learn to speak English. And I go, well, they didn't even notice him. They just sat there and kept on signing to each other. So it's a good joke. But what's interesting, I did that. Yeah, it's just a misdirect joke, right? So if you're listening, they were deaf. That's the whole thing. I did that joke in Tampa at Side Splitters, and when I yelled out the, if you live in America, y'all should learn to speak English. I hear a guy in the back go, "Damn straight." Yeah, I was like, "This is not going to land."
Yeah, you literally just stepped on me. Yeah,
it didn't land in that room. I was so shocked.
I mean, I have a joke about not taking guns everywhere, and one of the earlier punchlines is, I'm just saying, if they've got dollar Long Islands, maybe we don't add firearms to the equation. And I was up in South Bend at the original drop location, and this woman starts arguing with me, and I'm like, well, I'm not going to argue with her. I assume she has a fucking gun. But then someone started arguing with her, and I'm like, there's 45 more seconds to this joke. If we could just get past the part that made you mad here, I promise there's a laugh at the end.
Lady, I appreciate you, but you're being the wrong kind of ally because you're talking right now.
Right.
It is weird when people care more about what you said than what you do. Because these are jokes to us. Like I'll say a joke and like I don't even think about what I'm saying half the time. I'm just saying shit. And then they come, they're like, this thing was horrible. I was like, yeah, I guess.
I confused the crowd on Friday because I told a bunch of my I don't drink anymore jokes. And then I was like, shit, I have to get to my merch pitch. So I told my drinking jokes. And somebody from the back of the room goes, well, does he have a drinking problem or not?
Who gives a shit? Like, who gives a shit?
Listen,
like, that's
4 minutes ago, no, I didn't. For the purposes of this joke, yes, I do.
That's right. And that's funny. I guess that's the thing I never understood is like, you know, like we're comics, right? But like people do think you're telling the truth up there.
It's the Eminem effect,
and
man.
it's kind of tough because a lot of comics do.
Yeah.
A lot of comics do tell the truth, and that's what they're about, and they're telling their real life experience, and that's where they write from. And at least as of right now, I don't do that really, for the most part. I mean, I've got some true stuff. Actually, it's kind of my fault. I mix true stuff with not true stuff, so you're like...
I don't understand why they believe me.
It's not. It's their fault still, because you're performing. That's what performing is, guys.
Right, so I think it should be just understood that whether something's true or not, whatever we're saying is for the essence of getting a laugh, and most of the time it's probably not true.
At a minimum, it's exaggerated.
Right.
Like none of my stories happened exactly the way I tell them, even if they're 95% rooted in a thing. Like they're taken to an extreme place. Like a girl once told me, "Oh my God, you said everything that I think." It's like, you think horrible.
Yeah,
shit.
you're not doing. That's not good.
Not tell people that you think the things that I said.
Hey, can we go back 10 more seconds? Don't say that because I'm still trying to sleep with you. And
Oh, I did sleep.
Okay, good.
Like, she was
as you should.
No, there's and it's funny of all people.
Well, no, what you could have said, you say all the things I'm thinking. It's like, well, what I was thinking, what I was going to say next was we're sleeping together. You were thinking that too, huh?
Oh no, I was very drunk and I just said I need to fuck something. She raised her hand.
I need to fuck something.
Yeah, that's funny.
I was in a very bad place.
I have a real love for
3 weeks ago was hard. Okay.
Yeah.
I have a real love for Nick Swardson as a comedian because when
he might have been the first. I think he was the first comedian I've ever watched in person.
See, I have a weird feeling with him because like when I used to watch, like I said, Comic View all the time, a little bit of Comedy Central, but mostly Comic View. He was the first comic that I was like, oh, yeah, like he's like my age. In my head, I was like, he's young, like I could do this, like, because for the longest time I was just like, I was funny, but I felt like all my friends were funnier. Like I had a guy, a friend of mine, who was like a clown, like he was like and like legitimately funny outside of just being a clown, but funny. And so in my head, I was always like, oh, well,
come back to a clown story, by the way.
Oh hell yeah, let's do that. But like it was like Nick Swardson had this joke where he's like talking about feeding his cat diarrhea.
Yeah.
And then the lady in the crowd's like, you shouldn't do that, asshole. And he's like, it's not a real joke. He's like, do you think that I'm like, cat, eat the diarrhea? It's got to be real. And he's like, I don't know if you know this, Tobey Maguire, not really Spider-Man.
Yeah.
That's what I always think of when people take things literally on stage is Tobey Maguire's not, I don't know if you know this, but he's not really Spider-Man. Like it's like, or I guess Tom Holland now, get an update with all these
Well, I used to have one where it was one of my old made up stories, and I pretended that I had gotten my wife's sister pregnant, and this girl got really mad at me once, and I said, okay, here's the thing. These people all get that it's a joke, and you're getting really mad about how I treated my fake family.
Yeah.
And it got a bigger laugh than the actual joke, so I wrote that into the joke.
That's awesome.
Like, she was so mad. She's like, that's a horrible thing. Like,
I tried to add that Dunkirk thing into the joke because we did do this show, and I went up to the guy, and he was having issues with his own sound equipment. He had no idea what he was doing.
He was a white guy trying to do ones and twos. It was a problem.
It was so bad. So I went up there to help him real quick, and he was like, who's the next comic? And I was like, what's the name? And he said, Calvin. And I was like, well, he's got a hat. And I start to explain, and he goes, is he the colored boy? And I was like... Like, God, like really? And that's like, I'm doing a joke about how people say racist shit to me. Dude, you're now a part of it. Like, that was the...
I will say this, though. Sometimes I struggle figuring out how to avoid racism. like, I remember I was playing basketball at the gym, and then there was a couple guys. I'm not going to tell this story well either, but
yeah,
there was a couple of guys in there. One was a black dude.
It was up to no good. They started making trouble.
Yeah, one was a black dude, and anyway, so we're all in there. We're trying to, get everyone together for a game.
Yeah. And
the black dude, he left, and he was supposed to come back, but he hadn't come back yet. And I was like, hey, where's the I didn't want to say black dude.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I didn't want to, where's the, and then one of the guys saved me, goes, the guy with the dreads? Yes.
The dreads.
The guy with the dreads. Because I didn't want to be, I didn't want to make it just like the black guy,
That's that Schumer bit that she got in trouble for. They said she stole, right? The joke where she's like, who's helping you? And she's like, he's dark. He's wearing a red shirt, and it's like she doesn't want to say black. Like, the black guy helped me.
That's exactly what happened to me. That
It's
exact
tough.
thing.
That's the hardest thing about being a white guy is saying black.
Oh, is that?
yeah. The hardest. We don't have a lot, but that's our cross to bear. All right.
Well, I just moved to Indy, right? And like my wife and I just moved to Indy, and we moved to this neighborhood where we're like the only white people in it, right? And it's actually an awesome neighborhood.
As it should be. I'm sorry.
But here's the thing. Here's another issue of trying to just figure out how to avoid racism. Like, okay, when we were trying to decide where to live, do we move to this neighborhood where we're the only white people, and so we start gentrifying this neighborhood essentially?
Yeah.
Or do we move to a neighborhood where we're like, no black people, we only live with whites? Like
Either way, you're wrong.
Either way, you're wrong. Either way,
When I lived in Atlanta, when I was moving away from there, the person who I rented the U-Haul from said, "Oh, you're the only white people I've ever seen on Tarragon Way."
Like, did you tell him?
Yeah.
Kinda.
I didn't know.
yeah.
Kinda.
Right.
If you really knew. No. I think that's funny because like there is a part of you that's like you're trying not to. Either way you go with you're kind of fucking around. Like you.
Right.
Like
It's like you can't win either way.
Because you don't want to
sometimes,
gentrify because you're like, but also they say to buy the nicest house on the worst street. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. I don't know. So anyway, but
Or the worst house on the nicest street. That's what I meant to say. Fuck. Step
I
on my own joke.
literally grew up in a melting pot, so for me, that concept only happened when I was an adult and moved to Indiana.
Exciting things are happening at the Kokomo Press. Yeah, very exciting things. Not only are we bringing you comedy shows, an open mic once a week, skits, videos, funny jokes on our page, and satire news stories, but now you can support us by going to kokomopress.shop. It's that simple. You go to kokomopress.shop, you find a t-shirt, you find a hat, maybe in the future some stickers and some posters. You go on there, you buy one of those from us, and percentage of the proceeds will go to us and help support what we do. We appreciate every person who just likes, subscribes, does all that. But if you go to kokomopress.shop and you buy something, we'll know who you are. You send us a photo of it. We will post it on our page and shout it out. Thank you so much. Go to kokomopress.shop, buy all your shirts and hats needs, and support the Kokomo Press. Thank you guys so much. kokomopress.shop. What are you talking about? Just the
when I grew up in South Florida, like I think I've told you this before, there was an out gay kid in my kindergarten class. Like
Whoa.
there was every race, in South Florida is known as a melting pot.
what'd you call the gay kid? Easy pickings?
he called him that guy that keeps looking at me in the mirror. I don't know what he's doing.
We didn't call him nothing.
We just ignored him.
There's all different cultures and stuff like that there. So them to come here, like I have, he passed away a few years ago, but my little brother is a very, very dark-skinned Puerto Rican kid. So when we moved to Indiana, he was still in high school. And in Logansport High School, they tried to put him in all Spanish-speaking classes. And he had to physically speak up for himself and be like, "Ma'am, I was raised by a single white mom. I don't speak Spanish."
You gentrified your own house.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the crazy part. They probably were trying to put him in these classes for his benefit. Mm-hmm. They assumed,
yes.
Right. So it's like this is like trying to do a good thing that actually ends up being like a kind of racist thing. And that's the challenge sometimes. Is sometimes your empathy leads you to the wrong direction.
Racism.
If I was ever going to write a book, it would be all about how, you've heard the Road to Hell's Page with good intentions. Yeah. Like I am obsessed with this. I have like a 22-page outline of this book already.
Hell yeah.
Of if I was ever going to write a book, it would be about how our intentions fall apart because it's fascinating, man. I get have you ever tried to do something good for somebody and it just becomes a clusterfuck so fast?
Oh yeah,
dude. I try to do something nice for my wife and it always becomes a disaster.
Well, yeah,
it makes things worse.
Always really just a present for you. She doesn't want a threesome, dude.
I was trying to do something nice. I thought but no, it's true. It's like you try to. Oh, I'm gonna wash her. This is always my example. I'll do her laundry so she doesn't have to worry about it. I end up shrinking all of her shit. Yeah, making it worse. And
there's the old. It was years ago on Twitter. I think it was one of the guys that voiced the animated Batman said that he bought a new washer and dryer, and the guy delivering it said, "Hey, this isn't like your wife's birthday present or something, is it? Because that happened at the last house, and it was a bad scene."
Yeah, that's good. That's funny.
What the fuck? Yeah, my brain can do nothing except for think of the name of the Batman guy.
It was the one that was on the Drew Carey show.
Yeah, I can't remember. He's
Mark
very
Hamill
Diedrich
was the
Bader,
guy from
Joker.
like that.
He was the Joker.
Oh,
Yeah, he
sorry,
was
never mind.
Joker.
Yeah, you're right.
He
Sorry.
killed it shit too. But
Yeah.
the guy that
was
plays
so good.
opposite him is really great. And he's been. I
Right.
think he had cancer. And
Oh, Kevin Conroy.
that's
He
what I'm
was
thinking of.
like, he was the perfect Batman, I think. Like, obviously, there's argument over the live actions, who's best, all that, but the Kevin Conroy animated Batman. So I have an opinion.
You've
about
opened
this.
it up.
I have an opinion about this.
Of course
George
you do.
Clooney gets a lot of hate, and I don't think he deserves any of it, because
No.
he did exactly what he was supposed to do for that movie.
Yeah.
There were bat nipples. There was a bat credit card.
Yeah.
George Clooney delivered perfectly what the writing and direction for that movie called
Sure.
for.
Yeah.
It was a bad movie, but
I
it wasn't
honestly
his fault.
think, and this I would say this with no whatever irony. I actually think the one with Jim Carrey's the Riddler,
Val Kilmer, yeah.
Val Kilmer. I think it's an awesome movie. I love that movie.
Things don't have to be good to like them.
No,
I
I
like
love
it too.
I fucking love it. I think it's. I grew up watching that Batman. I still think it's hilarious.
It's camp. It's
funny.
like a mixture between like so I always tell people like I can get if you start
Nicole
with
Kidman's hot as hell.
Oh yeah. If you start with the first Batman and then you go to the fourth one there, yeah, of course it's going to be jarring because the tonality switch is insane.
Yeah.
Like it's like literally like Two-Face is like literally like you've got two different fucking tones. And the middle one there with Tommy Lee Jones and is like they're trying to do both at the same time. They're trying to talk to two audiences.
Well, the terminally online fan theory is that the third and fourth one are Batman movies in the universe of the Michael Keaton Batmans.
Yeah.
And I always kind of enjoyed that, like, because they're trying to bring the Adam West Batman back a little bit.
Yeah, the campiness of it.
Like, I think that Clooney and Kilmer were both exceptional Bruce Waynes. I don't know that they were great Batmen.
Yeah.
But like Michael Keaton was probably the best at doing both. Christian Bale was a great Batman and okay Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
But like, just to take it back, Kevin Conroy from the animated series was flawless.
Oh yeah.
Like,
He just could never physically play the role in real
he
life.
did
just wouldn't.
in Flashpoint.
Yeah.
Like on the Flash.
Did it look
show.
good? Because I mean,
He played like much older. He's crippled now. Like he was very like he was actively
Batman
dying
Beyond
of cancer.
style. Like Batman Beyond
He was
style,
actively dying of cancer when they filmed that.
Okay.
But he still had just the voice and the gravitas. It was incredible.
Mark Hamill could have physically played the Joker. Like,
yeah.
He looks like he could have still done it. I mean, it's
Yeah.
like the whole idea with Willem Dafoe doing Joker. Like, he looks so much like what a comic book Joker would look like. And it never happened because he ended up getting the Green Goblin, and it would be very, very similar. Sorry, these are all the topics. I did want to bring up a couple of things really quick. Go check out, look at, who's that handsome man?
That is an old picture.
I know. Go check out Slide Night, the Roast Battle tournament. They're in the semifinal. I think they're in the finals now. So that's Anxiety Productions. That's Kevin King. He was on the podcast last week. Check that out. Very good show. I got to watch a little bit of it last night. I kind of watched a little bit of everybody's battle because I was like, I know I'm not going to be able to get through an hour and 12, hour and a half in the time that I had. But I was like, I watched a little bit of every battle. Crystal versus Zach DeSuba was really fun. Crystal Evans versus Zach DeSuba. That was a fun one. Watching them go back and forth and just both be as awkward as fucking possible. That's where I enjoy cringe privately, but publicly I can't enjoy cringe. Like I can't. It's like I like The Office for a reason. Also, go check out Dan West in Rossville. That's going to be coming up Friday, right?
Next week, Friday.
Next Friday. The same night that I'm going to be busy.
This Friday, I am in Wyoming. Next week, Friday is Rossville. Saturday is Michigan.
And you got a lot coming up here, Justin. I know you said something about you're going to. Did you say? Are you allowed to talk publicly about going on? the show?
Yeah, for
That's
sure.
exciting.
I mean, I don't have. I mean, I just have several. You know, you can go to my website, Justin J. Seymour, and find my shows and everything, upcoming shows. But I think I'll be at the Comedy Attic on the 17th.
Hell yeah.
I'll be on Bob and Tom on October 14th.
Yeah, that's the one I was.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's going to be fun.
Yeah, that's the kind of benefit of doing those competitions.
Yeah.
Right. So, like, I hate doing the competitions, but you get in front of some people that can book you. And Jessica from the Bob and Tom show is like, yeah, we'll have you on. And I don't know how I'm going to do it because I don't know what you're allowed to talk about on Bob and Tom. And like, it's different than
one
this.
thing that you've got to do. You've got to make sure that you fight for your time because there's many people on their panel that they will, and it's not because of rudeness or anything like that. They have such a rhythm and a chemistry that it can be hard for the guests to speak sometimes. Like it's not a traditional interview. So make sure that you're not shy about jumping in.
Well, that's good. That's good to know. Well, I just don't know because they set you up for bits essentially, right?
Yeah.
It's not like this. Like this is just a free form talk conversation. They kind of set you up for bits from what I understand.
Like old school, like Tonight Show and shit.
Kind of, yeah. And I'm like, what bits do I have that can go on public national radio? And I'm like, I don't know if it's many. I don't think.
Maybe this is where you try one of the stories where you don't need the thing.
Yeah, maybe.
I know you got that. Well, it's funny because you said the competition shows. I will be in Indianapolis this next September 19th, this next Friday, I think, Riff Raff's bar. I'm going to be doing a Riff Raff Rumble. It's basically a competition there. I'm going to be going against some really funny people, including Kevin King, including Crystal Evans. Cole Peterson will be on that show. I think Patrick Murray's going to be judging it. It's Whitney White's show. It's going to be fun to do. And then, of course, if you've been following along, come see Tyson Cox headline here in Lafayette at the North End Pub. I'm going to be there with Devon Shoemaker, Whitney White, Brandon Stetler is going to be there hanging out, Brian West Jr., of course, and you might see some more people there. It's our second show there. We're really trying to build something. I know Lafayette's been a tough place to build.
It's a hard market.
Yeah, it's tough.
I mean, I ran a lot of shows there for a long time. I wish I could do that show, that North End Pub. I used to play.
You still run that Delphi room, don't you?
Yeah. I have something come up there at the Doghouse also in Delphi on September 20th. That's coming up. And then on the 27th, I'm at the Waukegan Comedy Jam. And,
that's exciting. With Kristen Carnes and
she runs that. So doing that, and then I've got like a show in Florida in November, and no one that listens to this is going to be there. So that doesn't matter at all.
I don't know. He's from Florida. Maybe he's got some people.
Oh, there you go.
What part of Florida?
It's in it's in like a little old person's town where they go to retire. Winter Haven, Florida. Winter Haven is what it's called. Literally called Winter Haven. You know where that's where the
I was.
But it's fun.
Nail on the head.
I've been at that club a couple times. It's fun.
Yeah.
I was in Florida last year, and I do a lot of shows with the Pub and Grub Comedy Tour, and the booker for that reached out to me. He's like, hey, so there's this LGBT-friendly, veteran-owned bar in Pensacola, and I want you to come out there. You're going to headline the show. And so I made the plans to go out there. I looked it up, and the name of the bar was Cabaret. And I was like, okay, that's weird. Like, there's no veteran iconography on this. It just seems LGBT. Like, that's fine. But then the guy that he had booked to open for me, I looked at his social media, and I was like, he's not going to be a good fit for an LGBT bar. So about 2 days out, he ends up, like, the opener drops off for whatever reason. So I bring a comic from Atlanta down with me. And we walk in, and it is not veteran owned, and it's not just an LGBT friendly, but it's a drag bar. 5 days a week.
Veteran owned. He talked to the sailor, and then he went afterwards and talked to the construction worker, and then he talked to the Native American. That's why he thought it was veteran.
There you go. 5 days a week they're doing drag shows. We were the first non-drag event they'd had in 3 years.
Oh no.
And it's like, that seems like the kind of thing you need to do a little bit of research on.
I remember I was in Fountain Square, and I did a show there, and it was like whatever that show is, and it was a drag group, an improv group. They did their thing, and then I came out, and it was just me. It's like such a ridiculous
Old
thing.
Rocky and Bullwinkle.
Just the straightest white guy that's just whatever after a whole drag show. That's ridiculous.
That's a tough. I mean, if there are any tough rooms, like that's always funny. Like I have this funny thing in my head where it's like if I do a joke that I know could be controversial, I want to do it in the place that they'll get mad. Like we talked about this. Like I did this. I
got one of those too.
Queer Eye for the straight guy. Drag. It was a drag show or queer. What is it? Drag Eye for the straight guy. Something like that.
Oh yeah.
But it was like a queer show. It was really cool. They did a drag king and queen came out and they remade us. So we did like 5 minutes and then we went off and they remade us and then we went on stage again. And I did a bit that's like it's a true story. It's honestly true, but it's very hard to swallow for a lot of people. But it's about the fact that I had sex with a man, but I didn't know he was a man when I had sex with him. There was no way to know because he wasn't identified as a man. So it's like a whole joke. But like really, I worked backwards from the idea of being like, did I come? Did she come? Nope. There was gender fluid though. Like that's a stupid joke.
Yeah.
But I was like, if I'm going to do this in front of people that I know are going to be like, I want to do it in front of people that are going to be like judging me because that's what I want to see. I want to see their reaction.
Yeah, if it works works with that audience, you know it's a good joke.
Yeah, and that's really it. And it's like, is there something there? And I felt it went pretty well with them. They didn't hate it. And I was able to come out in the second set and still get tons of laughs. And I feel like if I wouldn't have got any laughs if I came out in the second set and they hated it. So I was like, I felt really good about it. And I made a joke. I do a joke about how I like tall women, and then I put the heels on. I come on stage and I was like, I'm finally dressing the way that I like women. You know?
I had to do a set during an intermission for a burlesque show, and that was a nightmare. It's just a bunch of horny dudes that know that as soon as I'm done telling jokes, the women with their tits out come back. It was awful. I got
just come out with one of those shirts and be like, I know what you guys are looking for, and you just rip it and just have your tits out. Fuck it, like do your set and see if that works.
I don't know if there's anything worse in terms of entertainment than a bad comedy show.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's anything worse. I mean, I really don't. I think
an okay improv show.
Dude, improv, even just terrible improv is, I think, better than bad stand-up.
Because you respect the attempt. People don't respect the comic attempt because they're like, you should be better.
Yeah, you thought this all out beforehand.
They don't think the fact that like it's an attempt every time.
It's got to be because I do stand-up that I just... Bad improv for me, like... Bad stand-up is like, I don't like the character that you are on stage. Bad improv is, so you just thought that just now, huh?
Yeah.
That sucks.
Well, no, that's why I can actually respect it, because it's like, it's on the spot. It's impromptu. It's like with stand-ups, we come out there and you don't laugh at it. It's like, you've thought this out a long time ago before this. Like, you've worked this out and it still sucks. Like, you know, so it's...
I have seen people, I'm like, why did you think that was going to be funny?
But hang on, do you, I don't know, maybe it's just me. I'm, you know, obviously met so many comics now, and I do feel like comics, I will say this, are very judgmental of each other.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't understand that, because we all know how we started.
Dude, I've literally said this before on stage to people. It's like, it's weird when I go into a room and it is a room full, like a mic full of comics, and everybody's just like stale faced. And I'm like, you know what we're doing, right? You know what we're attempting to do?
Yeah.
Like, you don't be that way. Like, it's like you make a decision to like, really? Like, you're being the worst audience member that you don't want to see. And
what's funny for me is when someone tries to act like they're better than somebody who's at the same mic as them.
Yeah.
Like I don't give a shit how much I'm performing. I'm at the high mark on a Thursday, and that means that I'm not better than anyone.
Yeah, like, including the karaoke.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, I've gone to some shows or mics or whatever, and I'll watch people go up, and it's like, it is so bad that I can't like really watch it. But I'm not judging them.
Yeah, it's not a judgmental thing.
It's not a judgmental, like, this is bad. It's just like, oh, they're trying to get better, and I respect that.
Yeah.
I just can't watch it. It sucks.
I'm more
terrible.
judgy during karaoke, honestly.
Yeah.
Because it's like, have you heard this song that you're singing? Like you've got the cadence wrong. Like when I was down, I was in Colorado, and this woman was singing "Dreamer" by Ozzy, and it's like, have you heard "Dreamer" by Ozzy? Because like you're getting the emphasis wrong. Like, what you're doing is bad.
But I expect karaoke to be bad. I expect open mics to be bad.
I expect people to not be great singers.
Yeah.
What I don't expect is for it to seem like someone doesn't know the song they're singing.
The thing that people don't realize sometimes is there are some people that have zero internal rhythm as well, and they're trying, and they don't know
white
it.
People.
White people. It's true. It is mostly white people. I mean, it's this weird thing. Like you said, I think there is a lot of comics that are super jaded, and I feel like they do need to be brought back to some version of reality where it's like, come on, man. Like, you know what this is. You know what comedy is. You know what they're attempting. And like, I don't know. I think what bothers me is that comics a lot of the time are the worst audience member that they hate.
Yeah. I mean,
they are.
When comics start to get it figured out, once you start getting it figured out, like, okay, you've been in for a few years, you kind of know how to write a joke. Not all yours are great, but some of them are good.
Yeah.
You think you're awesome now. And you're like, then you watch someone who's starting out, and you're like, what are they doing? What are they doing?
What you said
dude,
before
they're doing what you did 2 years ago.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
I don't fully agree with what you're talking about you're being the worst audience member, because when I'm sitting at the open mic, I'm not obligated to find this funny. Like, you're a new comic. It's not fucking funny sometimes. It's not fucking funny a lot of the time. And that's fine because you're a new comic.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to do is sit here, and I'm not going to laugh because I don't think it's funny. Because if I give you a pity laugh, first off, it's very obviously a pity laugh, and that doesn't help anybody, because either it's a pity laugh and now you feel bad, or God forbid, you think it's a real laugh and you think I'm killing it.
Yeah.
Like,
I get that too.
Don't be a dick. if you heckle at an open mic as a comic, you're a piece of shit. 100% of the time.
Yeah.
Like if you are a comic heckling open mic comics, you're a piece of shit.
Yeah, even if you hate what they're saying, like
Yes.
you know what they're doing.
But you're not obligated to give somebody a fake laugh. Just sit there, wait for the next comic. That's fine.
I guess
don't be a dick about it.
I guess what I say, like the worst audience member isn't. I don't even think the worst audience member is the one that's not laughing. I think the worst audience member is the one who. I would rather you, if you're a comic and you're not enjoying it, to look down at your phone, because at least I know that you're checked out. What I don't like is somebody staring at somebody, and like I've watched it all the time because we run a mic and I see it all the time where people are just like kind of doing this like almost like they're bewildered looking at them. And comics, like if you do comic rooms, a lot of times, like I feel like you're working on your thing, but I almost feel like it's better to be loose. That's something I've worked. You and I have talked about this a ton, Sean. About I think the first step is to get funny jokes, and then the second step is to say fuck the funny jokes. Like where they're at, not just try to live in the moment. And because a lot of people aren't in the room at open mics, and I feel like that is part of the reason what makes it unfun is people are just not in the room. They're really just like reading, like they're reading in their head or on the phone, and they're just like they're not really paying attention to what the reaction is, and they're not really bringing the people in. I feel like
delivery matters, and you're not working on delivery at all if you're just like, unless you are. But like even Mitch Hedberg had delivery.
Oh yeah,
like it was a very specific style, but he was still delivering his joke.
Yeah,
he wasn't just in a monotone saying. I mean, fuck, Stephen Wright did that, but it was still delivery.
It was his.
Oh, he's so funny too.
Yeah, Stephen Wright's great.
That version of comedy is so fun, and when somebody's really good at that, like that one-liner type of like setup and punch, it's just hard with. I think memes have kind of fucked that up because like that's what memes are, and that's what a lot of internet jokes are. It's just set up punch really quickly, and it's like we're all moving on, so it kind of makes it. It's oversaturated it in a weird way. I do have one thing I wanted you to look at, Dan. I know we didn't get a lot. We talked about a lot of fun stuff, so it didn't really matter. So, but I saw this at the store the other day, and it made me laugh so hard. I was like, could you be any more tone deaf? Like, could you imagine going to the store and be like, I'm going to buy a drone that's U.S. Army? I'm like, imagine your grandson. You get that for your grandson. Next thing you know, you have a drone strike on a wedding. Like,
is it a drone or a helicopter?
Yeah, it just looked like it was a radio controlled helicopter.
In my head, I'm like, I was just thinking in my head, I was like, if it's like the drone type of sound.
Is it Lego?
No, I don't know. It's a good question.
It looks like it's official Army branded.
Yeah, that's why in my head I was like, it's kind of wild.
But the helicopter looks Lego-y kind of.
Yeah.
It does look bad. It looks bad.
I thought maybe they'll get like a little, like,
that's that classic Army contract.
A little Lego
shit.
Kobe to go with it.
Yeah, you God. You're combining two things. Oh no, not again. No, I saw something recently. This was an interesting. Did you guys see the article in the Atlantic? The job market is how young people are using ChatGPT to write their application. HR is using AI to read them, and no one is getting hired.
Oh yeah.
Like, do you not? I mean, obviously we all know AI is the end of everything, but also doesn't it feel like it's hilarious?
Yeah.
I keep hoping, like, in my corporate gig, there is so much talk of using AI and like we want to implement AI in this and in this, and it's my boss gets mad at me every single time we talk about this, but I say like I can do it better and faster by myself.
Yeah.
Rather than spending 20 minutes writing a super detailed prompt and then still having to go in and edit because it's wrong. Like, we are destroying the environment to do a worse job.
Yeah, exactly. Just because we think in the future it'll be more efficient.
And like, it's the fucking worst, man. And I can't imagine being a teacher and dealing with that shit.
Well, luckily I got out of teaching before this came along.
But my dad's a professor and deals with the shit all the time.
I work at a university now.
Okay.
So I develop. I don't teach. I develop curriculum. Actually, I develop curriculum for the Department of Defense.
Oh, there you go.
That's what I do. So that's my day job.
I used to teach for the Department of Defense.
Oh, there you go. But I
used to work for the Department of. Okay. Sorry.
So, but
you mean the
I
Department of War? Don't call it defense anymore. It's war now.
I do see it being a huge problem. I mean, but I wrote a paper on this, I don't know, 2015. Like, I mean, we saw this coming, right? We saw AI coming. And in terms of education, it's going to make education better. I mean, kids are going to grow up with like an AI companion their whole life, and that will know them inside out. It can teach them anything and differentiate it for them like no teacher ever could. It'll be
when it gets done right, though, is the problem. Like right now we're in hell.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Like, it is amazing what it can do.
Yeah.
Like, don't be wrong. Like, there are issues with it. There's problems. But it is incredible what you can learn with it. If you're using it right, you have proper intention, you kind of understand how to prompt it. But obviously there are huge problems. And I don't think our society is going to be able to withstand like the job market collapsing because it will. I mean, we're all screwed. Like, I actually just made a move recently. So let's just talk. Can we talk about something for a second? Because like when you guys all work a day job.
Yeah.
Right. You guys all work a day job, right? So I knew I wanted to start doing comedy. When you decided you're going to do comedy, like you got to pay the bills somehow. Comedy's not going to do it.
Not in the beginning for sure.
So did you have like any kind of plan of how to pay the bills and actually do comedy like professionally? Because like because the goal is all of us to become headliners and to be able to pay the bills with just comedy, right? Or at least have your bills paid and do that. Right?
Yeah. To me, I've got my hand in too many honey pots. Like I comedy is like such a big part of what I am and what I do. But like I'm almost in like a generalized comedy space because I try to do general comedy media. So like we have the comedy like news page, and then we have the open mic, and then we do shows, and then I do a podcast, and we do so it's like skits or sketches or however you want to call it. So like I'm so interested. I probably should just say I'll focus on this, but that's not who I am as a person. But like the sketches and the stuff, are you just focusing on just the stand-up aspect of it?
Yeah.
Like if you got offered SNL, I mean, I know that sounds like crazy, but would that be something you'd?
Something like that would be an opportunity you'd have to try. But it's not what I'm interested in.
But it's not your dream or your goal.
No, but like to pay the bills, like I knew, like getting out of teaching, I left teaching in 2022. Knowing that I wanted to pursue stand-up.
Okay.
But I knew it wasn't going to pay the bills.
Yeah.
So for 3 years prior to leaving, like I invested in some rental properties.
Yeah.
Like actually I just bought a business this week that I'm going to probably try to build up. So like
the Hugger is on for sale. if you need it. The Hugger is for our strip club.
Oh yeah, I was going to ask you guys about the Hugger. I was going to ask you what's going on with that.
I think the dude that owns it, Bob, I think his name is. I think he's ready to get out of the business. I looked at you like you're like Dan was going to be like, yes, absolutely. I've talked to him last week.
But I guess my question is like, how are you setting yourself up financially to be able to pay your bills and live life, but also be able to like pursue stand-up full time? Like, because to me, I'm trying to get my financial life in a position where I'm not in a regular 9 to 5.
Yeah.
Have you tried inventing a new draft system to allow you to become independently wealthy?
Well, I mean, you decided to take your talents to the internet. Like you're online with most of your job stuff, right? So you're able to go on the road.
So I am bad example for your question because the pieces fell in for me in a way that some of it was my work and some of it was incredibly lucky, where I decided to go back to college in 2020. And I graduated 22 with a degree in PR and immediately pivoted into working as a social media paid strategist for marketing.
Okay.
So I develop all of the targeting, I build audiences at all of the social media platforms, and I work for an agency that allows me to work 100% from home.
There you go.
See, that's what I'm saying. He's developed a great, I mean, I don't know if you love it. Obviously, it's probably tough to balance because you're on the road also and trying to do your job.
Like stand-up could be my only job right now, but I would not be comfortable.
Yeah.
Like I value my comfort. I value expensive toys for my dog. I want to be able to have a nice couch, a nice chair to play my PlayStation 5. So the job is essential to be comfortable. I would be, when I go on the road, I want to stay in a nice hotel or an Airbnb. So the job is mandatory. And fortunately, the pieces fell into place in a way where, like, I'm in Wyoming on Friday, so I'm leaving on Wednesday, and I will have my work phone open while I'm driving. And if I need to pull off into a rest area and pop my hotspot on and do a little bit of work, I can. And I can take calls from my phone. And then I'm taking Monday through Wednesday off, and I'm going to go into South Dakota and check out the hot springs and the Mammoth Cave and shit. Yeah. And then, like,
well, no, so you're actually like the perfect example of my question of like,
like that's what I was thinking.
I say I'm a bad example because a lot of it was luck. Like,
sure, yeah.
But you could still be the example of how to do a version of it.
Yes, but I didn't have a plan for this.
It just kind of happened.
I went to school for public relations, and then I was panicking in my last semester, and I was fortunate then because I still had veterans benefits, so I didn't have to work while I was in college, so I was able to do 18 credits a semester and also go over the summer and not have to work because I was getting extra GI Bill. And so I was panicking looking for a job, and I get this marketing agency job before I even graduated.
Yeah.
And it is what pivoted me into social media marketing. Whereas if I was working for a PR firm, I would have to be much more client focused and more in person, at least hybrid, versus the 100% remote thing. So like this is going to sound way more arrogant than I mean it to, but I am where I'm at is goals.
Yeah.
But it was not planned.
Yeah.
Like I
but now it can be a blueprint. But now it can, because SMM, anybody, I don't say anybody as in like anybody can do it, but you can learn SMM and you can develop how to do it and get part of like a firm or whatever that does it.
I do a bunch of freelance stuff also. I worked with the World Series of Comedy a bunch, running their social media.
That's awesome. Well, they did a bad job in the beginning because I had to mess it. Remember?
Yeah, no,
I'm happy you fixed it.
I started after that.
Is that my fault? Did I help you get that? I'm just kidding.
A little bit. Yeah.
Yes, I love helping my friends.
I do a bunch of freelance. I also market my own shows. When I'm producing a show, they're usually you saw the fucking.
They're symbiotic. You learning how to do social media marketing and doing running shows. That's a symbiotic relationship because one helps the other. Yeah.
You saw the Windfall show that was sold out.
Fucking packed.
And I ran a $14 ad over 2 weeks and sold the entire show out because it helped. So there's definitely a path to follow to plan to do what I did. I stumbled.
Yeah,
that's great, Sean.
Sean, what you've got a plan?
I have a plan, but honestly, I want to first state that I do comedy as a means to be a sitcom writer. That's what I want.
Okay.
Nice.
But I'm a single father that makes $25,000 a year. So I have a 20-year-old son, an 18-year-old son, and a 14-year-old daughter. So life's mostly work for me. I can do comedy. Sometimes I have a job that I do oil change. I'm an oil change tech for Valvoline. So for me, it's just kind of, there's times I can't take shows because of my situation.
Of course, yeah.
But you're about 5. Your kids are getting to that age.
I'm 4 years from being done, and my plan is, why I got the job I got is because there's Valvolines all over the country. So in 4 years, when my daughter goes off to college, the plan is to move to either LA or New York, continue doing Valvoline in the daytime, and being able to completely focus on stand-up or try to get, like, I'm writing a movie right now that's a buddy cop movie. We're actually writing it together, but it was my idea. I'm trying to get to a place so when they're out of the house, I can do this because for the last 10 years, it's basically been me raising 3 kids by myself.
Yeah. No, I feel like this is something that comics, when we get together, we don't really discuss. Like all of us have a little plan that we keep inside of our soul somewhere of like, how are we going to make this thing happen? And some of us have gotten there better, quicker than others by hook or by crook or by luck or whatever it is. And I'm always interested in like how, I mean, I guess everyone's got a different goal, right? Not everyone wants to be a headliner and like go be a headliner comic. Some people want to be writers, or some people just like it as a hobby.
Yeah.
But
God, I'm so jealous of the people that are satisfied with it being a hobby.
No, that would be nice.
Oh
that would be nice.
I'm not satisfied with anything, and the problem is I want to do everything. Like for me, my goal short term is to create a version of like to run a media apparatus that brings people to me.
Wow.
Or in a way, like,
I mean, that's an amazing goal. Like here's tough. Here's my problem is I know how important the social media stuff is now. It's incredibly important. How important creating content is now to bring people to you and your brand and see what you do. I don't know, man. I just want to be a good comic. Yeah. And like, I'm kind of old school and just in general as a person. And I like, despite how I look,
what do you mean, James Dean? That's pretty old school.
But like, I kind of grew up, like I said, on a farm. I grew up basically in the 90s, but it was like the 70s. Right. Yeah. So I just want to be a good comic. And that's what I focus on right now is like,
I love that.
Getting better joke writing, getting better performing. And that's just not how people are doing it now.
No.
It's just not. And
People are going on Kill Tony, or they're trying to get a viral TikTok.
Yeah.
Do you not feel okay? So here, that's a good. I mean, I like that. That opens up a question that I did bring up. It's kind of back to that Dan Alton thing a little bit. Is like Mark Maron going on podcast and saying that's the wrong way to do comedy, which I don't like. That I think that's a weird thing to do. I think that's literally like back in my day. That's what that is. Because in my opinion, I understand that like when back in the day, people would develop a voice over many years, and then they would write jokes based on their voice, and then they'd take it on the road, and then they'd gain an audience, and then they'd get up on the Tonight Show, and then the whole country, and they start selling out. That does not exist. There's no way in which that happens. Most people do not get famous from going on nobody even gives a shit if you're on Tonight Show now. That's if you're on Tonight Show, it barely matters. I mean, ask Colbert. He's dealing with some bullshit right now, and that's not Tonight Show. I understand that's the Late Show. But like in my head, the manner in which people are gaining an audience is perverted. It's not like you have this. I love the way that you're doing it, and I think it is probably the moral way to do it. I guess I would say the proper way to do it. But I do think there's this honest part of it that like you're going to sit out there and you're going to develop this act and you're going to start headlining. You're going to be probably a great, I mean, I've seen your comedy. You're
ready
really
for
funny.
your audience when you get it, and you will get a good show.
There's going to be a kid out there who goes viral for some bullshit. Pretend like I got people sending me all this guy. It's like, what's up, fool? And he's got a fake lip ring in, and he's like, hey man. And this guy's got like 2.2 million. If he calls up Helium Comedy Club, he's getting a spot.
Right.
And my thing is like, I understand like from a comic standpoint, you're absolutely right. And I think that's the weird moral way to do it, or the proper way to do it. But I think the reality of it is tomorrow our page could go super viral in a weird way where we start to get into the millions, and then next thing I know, I can call up Helium and say, I have 1.2 million followers and an agent. Can I get in there? And they're going to say, sure.
Yeah.
But last week when I had 30,000 followers, I couldn't get in there.
Yeah.
And it sucks because that's the way these apparatus. It's all about what can you bring an audience to us? They don't have an audience anymore.
Well,
they want you to bring.
I'll say one thing, and then sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you there, Dan.
Sorry.
I think it comes down to why you're doing it.
Yeah.
Right. Like, I don't do stand-up because, like, frankly, I don't even actually like performing that much. Like, even when I was a musician, like, I didn't even really like performing as a musician. I like the creative part. I like the writing the thing, making the thing. And I like getting, fundamentally, my motivation is I just like getting better at shit. That's it. Yeah. I just like getting better. And, like, that's the whole thing.
Yeah.
And, unfortunately, performing is a necessary part of that.
Yeah.
Like, you have to perform to get better at being funny professional, like, on purpose.
Yeah.
So I don't really do it because I want to have an audience. I really don't. The only reason I care about that is so that I know that people will be there when I have jokes to say. That's the only reason I care. But I just like getting better at stuff. And I think everyone's got their own motivation for doing stand-up. Some people like and want the recognition and the praise, or some people think it's going to be a cool lifestyle or whatever. There's a lot of
money.
reasons.
Like money's a big motivator.
Yeah, or even if it's not money, they just like, I want to be on the road, and I want to be a road dog, or whatever the thing they've got. For me, it's just a mastery thing. I just like improving at stuff.
That's
cool.
A very different stance than most comics have.
Yeah.
Myself included. Like, the performing is the reward for me.
Yeah.
Like, I like building the relationships. It feels good to me to make a room laugh.
Yeah. It does feel good. I will say that.
And so,
but the question is, why does it feel good? Because
it's building relationships for me. I mean, it's trauma is what it is.
Well, for me, right. Like, it feels good because you're building a relationship. That's a human connection type thing. For me, it's two reasons. One, I think it's a moral good. I think giving someone a laugh is one of the best things you can do for them.
Yeah.
But secondly, and the real selfish motivation is because it's evidence of me improving creatively. And
that makes sense to me. It's just not something that matters as much to me. Like, I definitely, we've talked about this where I don't do a lot of crowd work. I don't because I find more value in the jokes that I've written than I do in something that I just think of off the top of my head based on what you said. So like, I don't disregard where you're at internally, but that's not the important thing for me. And like, it's about the performance for me more than anything. And Like, I would rather be on stage than, honestly, if this was financially viable, I'd be on fucking board all day. Like, if we could get that Andrew Schultz money.
Well, I think my motivation is probably even different than the two. I mean, it's funny because how the motivations can change between people, because like his motivation is he wants to be such a good writer that he's writing things and he's creating in that way. And that's something that he's told me a million times. But he also knows that my motivation for any of this is I want to win. I just want to win. Like any.
Well, what does winning look like?
Winning to me.
What's the metric for winning? Is it an audience? Is it like what is the metric for winning for you?
The metric for winning for me is to prove that I was right in the prove that I knew myself. Like my true self is who I was, I am. Because like there's this weird thing where like I know like how good I am at a lot of things. I'm like real. And this is another thing, like where I'm not really bragging, but I'm oddly good at a lot of weird things.
Yeah,
like,
same.
like and I think that's where I do see that kinship. And I mean, Dan, you're actually one of those people as well, because this and you sing, like we're all singers here. I hope you sing, right?
No, I just play guitar.
Okay, you play. Well, we all musicians in a way and
music,
stuff.
Yeah.
And my thing is like when it comes to like this type of that, there's a performance aspect to all of that, but there's also this part of me that's like I know I'm meant to be entertaining people. And I say entertaining because like I love to tell jokes. That's like my favorite. Like my favorite thing to do is to write a joke and kill.
Yeah.
I don't care if I'm writing a joke in a stand-up manner or if I'm in a podcast and I think of something, or like when I do. Kevin King always jokes that I'm the best judge he has on the show that he does, because I'm all about quick writing. He came with me one day and helped me, but I literally will listen to something they say and be like, how can I associate something? Okay, here I just wrote a joke based on something they said, and I've had 5 minutes and I wrote this that quick. And that to me is the type of feeling I want. I'm like, ooh, I can do that.
I do like that. Like I enjoy sending tags. Like I've sent you a couple of tags. I've sent Brian a couple of tags. Like I enjoy doing that.
I mean like, that's like
fun
at the
too. Open mic, I'll text them while they're on stage.
You do that too. Yeah, you do that. Yeah, you're great at
just
that.
having straight up text conversations.
I do the same thing to him. Like I'll send tags. And to me, I honestly, if I was to wake up tomorrow, and I think if I woke up in my bed and my dream came true, what would happen is I'd wake up. It would be, the page would be huge. What we're doing is huge, and I'd be there with my friends, and we'd be doing what we wanted. Like we'd be making something that people love in a level that everybody sees it. Because like I think I have this. Maybe this is my delusion of grandeur at the end of the day, but this is really. I feel like if everybody saw what I could do, it would be undeniable. But you can't always you can't get everybody to watch what you're doing.
Well, that's interesting. I come at it from the opposite direction. I'm highly uncertain that. I'm undeniable. Yeah. In fact, I kind of hope I'm not, because I want the process.
Then why would you keep improving?
Yeah. That's right. Yeah. Like I want the process to continue to the point where like I get to be undeniable through work. Right. And that's what I find satisfying fundamentally.
I love that.
It's just fun. It's like, it's always been that way through my life. When I was in high school, I played basketball, but look at me. I'm not a good athlete.
Yeah.
Like,
same.
Like I'm not like, but I actually got pretty good through, I mean, intense work ethic. And that's where it started. Basically, I combine I saw basketball as an art form growing up. Which is why I was so different. They saw it as a sport and it's about winning. I'm like, no. It's more than that. It's a beautiful art form. Yeah. When you watch what people can do with the ball and how they predict things, and there's an art form to it. And that was what I liked. And then I got into music and I was like, oh, this is an art form. And then you continue to improve. So I applied that kind of Mamba mentality to art form. So when I did basketball, it was like the work ethic. When I started playing music, it was like, how do I be creative consistently? I wrote 12 albums in 10 years. Yeah. And then doing stand-up is just the perfect combination of both of those.
Yeah. See, I treat it like a game. Like that's my day job also. Like with social media, I treat it like a game, and when my numbers go up, I'm winning. When my click-through rating is going up, that means that I'm winning. When my CPM is going down, it means that I'm winning. And one of the things that I struggle with very, very much is gratitude. I need to get better at that, because where I am right now, 10 years ago, I would have murdered everybody in this room to get here.
Oh, right. Yeah. I think that's everybody.
The fact that every weekend I can be somewhere getting paid to do stand-up if I want to be. And I I was trying to take August off, and instead I was in 5 states.
I know. I tried to book you for something, and we talked about it, and you're like, I'm going to be gone, and this is my month off. And I'm like, cool. Were you willing to do something local? And you're like, actually, I have this festival I have to go to. This is the one thing I'm doing. The next thing I knew, you were in 3 other places.
Yes.
I'm like, this
I was trying to take the month off, and so I took Labor Day weekend off, and I forced myself and turned things down. And 10 years ago, I would have murdered for that. Yeah. And so it's important, and I need to get better at just taking a beat and not being mad. Like I'm on 3 festivals this year, like not being mad that I don't get something. Like I can be disappointed, and that is disappointment is a valid feeling.
Yes.
Not beating myself up, not like just moping, and recognizing like this was the dream. And like, I do want to keep moving. I want to keep, like, I headline about probably 40% of the time right now. And I'd like to increase that number. But it is important to enjoy where I am, because this was the goal for a minute.
Yeah. I feel that same way with a lot of things in my life. I have to sit down and be like, we all do it. We move the goalpost, because that's you're supposed to. You're supposed to. This is the one time when you have goals, you are supposed to move the goalpost when you hit the goal. Like, that's the way this is. But there's a part of you that it is hard to look back and see all the goals that you've moved. Like you move the goalpost so that when you look behind you don't see it anymore. But the reality is the goal was back there, and then it was back there, and then it was back, and it was all the way to the point where, like, really now you're closer to the dream than you ever would have imagined when you started. But you're still not as close to where you thought, or where the end goal is. So you could be in the middle. You could be closer to like 3/4. You could be, even 2/4 or whatever. Half,
half.
2 3/4, 1/4, 1/3. 4. Math was never my good thing.
I think how you, like, the kind of goals you set up for yourself in something like this are important, because, like, you're talking about goals. Is it a goal of how many followers do I have, or how many views am I getting, or like there's those goals.
Yeah.
But then there's goals like, can I work in 2 callbacks through this set?
Well, like right now I'm checking off new states. Like that's my goal right now.
So, well, what I'm getting at is like, are your goals based around external metrics of success, like followers, money, whatever, or, which I'm not saying those are bad goals, at all. In fact, they're probably great goals to have. But my goals for now, at least, are focused way more on the art form itself.
Yeah,
as opposed to what you're getting from doing the art form, right?
But also, some of the decisions you made in your life have probably put you in that given you the ability. Like, you're married. Your wife has to sign off. Like, if your wife is not in with this, it doesn't matter if you want to go to Florida or if she says no, I need you here, there goes your dream.
Yeah, she's super supportive, which is huge.
Which is great, and you knew that you had to find somebody that would support your goals.
Here's the thing. I mean, we were together long before I started doing stand up. I was doing music before, but it was interesting because I remember I told when you started. And you told a friend, and you're like, I think I'm gonna do stand up. How did they react?
Really?
Was that really what it was? Was it like, really, you're gonna do stand up?
When I first told people I was doing the first person that I told I was doing stand up told me to do stand up. So I guess that's that's a weird thing. But the first person I said I'm going to start doing the stand up because I'd already been doing the comedy kind of online with they were kind of like, well, that makes sense. So I was lucky in that way. I don't know if that's I don't think everybody has that same. Yeah.
I mean, I know for me, like, I told my best friend, I think I told another friend of mine, and, they didn't really say much at the time. They're like, oh, okay, that's interesting. But they told me about a year ago. They were both like, when you told us you were going to do stand up, we just did not see it. Yeah. And here's the thing, I was always funny. I was always a funny person. I was, but they just didn't see me doing stand up.
Yeah.
And, but what was fascinating was when I told my wife, we were in Grand Rapids. And we went up to watch a comedian who also used to be a teacher. His name's Joe Dombrowski. I don't know if you guys know him. But he's killing it. I mean, he's doing great. He sold out a theater there in Grand Rapids. And I watched his show. And this guy was like me. Former teacher. He's doing the stand-up thing. And I'd loved stand-up for a long time. And I've been thinking about doing stand-up. And then we drove home from Grand Rapids. And on the drive home, I told my wife, I said, hey, I'm going to do this. And she totally supported it. She was she was the only person who was like, I know you could do that for sure. And that's an amazing thing. I don't think a lot of people have that, you know.
That support, that's I think that's difficult for a lot of people.
Yeah.
I think we all there. I think along the way, that's very unique for you, and I think that's something gratitude wise that you can always look back on and be like, ooh, I had this person, because I know a ton of people that they said I'm doing comedy, they're sitting there other, and they said over my dead body.
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, when you started doing this, something inside of you said you had a confidence in yourself.
Yeah,
you had to have had some kind of confidence at least somewhere in there. Like, I know even if I'm not going to be good now, I will figure it out.
Yeah.
And so if someone out there is listening is like, I would love to try stand up, but I can never do it. You could. Yeah. You could. You just have to have this belief that you will figure it out. You're going to suck for a long time, but as long as you're okay with sucking for a long time and continuing to get better.
That's the hardest thing.
There you go. That's the hardest part.
Because you're also much harder on yourself because you're a fan of stand-up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're going to hear yourself and you're not going to be as good as the people that you like.
Yep.
And just... the worst thing in the world is going to an open mic and watching people do well, and then you go on stage for the first time ever, and of course you're not going to be amazing. You shouldn't be amazing. If you're amazing your first time on stage, then I hate you.
Yeah. Very few people.
Right. It does happen. I'm being facetious, but
but it's as long as we ran this open mic, very few.
And
I tell people
if
all
you
the time,
are solid your first time, that is not going to be a consistent. You're not going to do great every time. And it's really figuring out what you want to do with it is important. Like wanting to write, wanting to consistently improve, wanting to boost your social media and get that undeniable status. Knowing what you want to do will help you get over the hump of when it sucks, because it sucks sometimes.
Oh yeah, it does.
Like I told you, I had a dog shit show last night.
Yeah.
Friday was great. Last night, awful.
Yeah.
But knowing the gratitude part of it and knowing what I'm working towards is what helps get over the rough fucking times. And as you are new at it, it's gonna be rough because you see what you like about stand-up. You see people doing great. You love stand-up and you don't see yourself doing that. So it sucks.
I love doing it more than I love not doing it in a weird way. If I don't get on stage for a minute, I feel like it affects my mental health, in a lot of ways, because there is this part of me, and it's not, I've seen a lot of people go that you can tell they go to an open mic or they go on stage and they really just want to be on stage because they want a microphone. You know what I mean? That's not even it. I want the puzzle. I want to show that, and I think that's where the winning aspect comes for me in my head. It's I think there's a reason why we say you got to win the crowd over. You got to kill, and the whole idea is to win. And in my head, I want the opportunity to win because I feel like I'm going to. If I get the chance, I'm going to figure it out. And it maybe not tonight. Maybe tonight I was never going to win, and that just happens. But eventually, I'm going to get to the point where I'm like, there's that's what I knew that I could do. I knew I could do it if I just put the work in, if I figured out the rhythms, if I figured out the timing, if I figured out the jokes, if I figured out who I am, what I am on stage. I have this weird thing. Anytime I do something, I look over to my left, even like a random job at work, and I'll be like, ooh, I've never done that before. That looks hard. And I'll look over and I'll be like, they can fucking do it though. Yeah. I have this weird maybe it's a problem. Probably it's a competitive problem in my head, and it's not that I'm in competition with everybody, but I'm in competition with myself. Can I do that? Yeah, if they can do it, then I can do it. Or if and I've met people that are funnier than me right now. They're funnier than me right now, but I meet them and I'm like, if they can do it, I could fucking do it. So I'm going to do the work, because the work, to me, saying I want to prove that I am this is not me saying that I'm not going to work to do it. To me, it's more like it's like that's the motivator. I know I can, so I'm going to work to prove it to every single person and myself and my family and everybody that. When you guys growing up, when I was like, oh, you're so funny, or you're so talented, or you're a great performer, or you have this weird ability to use the tonality of your voice to say things on stage, or even like, hey, what's up, guys? How you doing? I'm good at that memorization and kind of compartmentalizing each thing and putting a list in my head. That I notice. I thought forever. My mom laughs about this all the time. I thought forever this is acting, all this stuff was just what people natural. It's like what everybody can do it. No, the fuck, they can't.
Yeah.
I learned really hardly when I started booking people to do, I learned the hard way when I started booking people to do acting roles and different things that not everybody can do it. It's actually is a skill, and it's a talent, and it's a little bit of work, or it's a lot of work, and it's a little bit of everything. But I will say my mom, it's something I didn't even realize when I was like 3 years old, barely talk. I was talking, but not great. My mom said that I would sit in the car with her, and she would a commercial would come on, and she would say, "You should do a commercial like that." And then I, as a little, like 3, 4, 5 years old, I would do commercials for her. I'd be like, "Oh," and she said that when she saw how that went in my head, she was like, "There's no way that you're not going to perform in some way," because it was this part of me that, like, maybe deep down inside, I'm always just trying to show my mom I can do it. That might be it.
Yeah,
I don't. Maybe I didn't know until she told me. But maybe that's what it is.
You've said multiple times, to prove to other people.
My thing is proof, and myself.
Yeah, and yourself, right?
Yeah.
Like, and it's just a unique motivation. I'm sure plenty of people like that.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to show you guys that I'm something, it's not for me. I mean, I guess I'm proving to myself that I can do something, but really sometimes people ask me, why am I doing stand-up? Like, I just got to kill time until I die. Like, you got to have something. You got to have something. You have to have a thing. You have to have something to kill time.
You can only play so much World of War.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I used to say to a friend, I was like, variety is the spice of failure, because you got to, in life, you're going to do something for a while and you're going to fail at that thing.
Yeah.
Because that's what being alive is.
Absolutely.
And you've got to continue to vary the things you fail at. Otherwise, that way you die before you kill yourself. Because if you just keep failing at the same thing forever, you'll kill yourself. Yeah. So, like, you got to mix it up. And so, like, this is my current 10 years of fucking with this.
It's better to fail. It's better to fail at something that you want to do than to fail at something that you didn't want to do.
That's right. Yeah.
And there's a part of me that's like I don't want to learn how to garden because I don't give a shit.
Right.
I mean, I'd like to. It'd be cool to be like, oh, I could do this easily. But in my head, I'm like, I know at the end of the day, I'm going to learn it and be like, okay, one more skill that I'll probably barely use. But with comedy, with stand-up, with podcasting, like, I couldn't do this a few years ago. I had no idea how to even, what's an XLR? Like, all this stuff. I was not very good at it. And with music, with everything that I do, it's a challenge that I put on myself. And I'm like, this is what I want to accomplish. And I'm going to show that I can do it.
No, I agree with that 100%.
Beautiful.
And it's just like, yeah, I mean, I think we got to have a thing in life, and right now, like, dude, this is going to burn out. Like, this is not going to last. Like, there's no way that in 12, 15 years, I'm probably still going to be doing stand. I mean, I hope I am. Like, that's what I think now. Yeah. But who knows? Like, you can only fail so long. Yeah. Before you're like, all right, I'm done with this. I'm going to move on to the next thing. Yeah. Like, you know what I thought I was going to do before I did stand up?
Stand up, though. Because the people who are terrible at it will do it forever.
Well, like, so like I said, I did music forever, and then I was like, I think I've got everything out of this. I've wrung this thing dry. Yeah. That moment will come with stand-up probably. Yeah. But between the two, I didn't know what I was going to do. I was like, I got to have something. You know what I did? I went out to California and thought maybe I'm going to do paragliding. I was like, I'll jump off a fucking mountain and start flying around. I did that. I went out for a week to try to learn about paragliding because I was like, maybe this will be my thing. I don't know. I did that and I was like, there's no way. I live in Indiana. There's no cliffs.
Where's the mountain at?
Most people just do drugs.
Yeah, that's what I should have decided. I was like, but I've got to have something. And then everything just kind of came together where it was like, oh, I've always loved stand-up, and I've always been funny, and like I'm an artist, and I've got work ethic, and all this stuff. It kind of all makes sense together. Yeah. And so then just start doing that, and I'll waste the next decade doing this. And hopefully it turns into something, but if it doesn't, whatever.
So you'll be on the show with your book in 10 years. You'll be like, I spent 10 years doing comedy, and now I'm spent 10 years on this book.
He's the millennial Forrest Gump.
Yeah, you are. You have, dude, that's beautiful. That's a beautiful thing.
So I used to. It's kind of funny.
That's the album title.
That is kind of hilarious. Maybe that'll be my first special title. I used to work at a bar briefly, and this woman came in. We were just chatting. We talked about life and all. And I was talking about some of the things I did. She goes, "Is there anything you haven't done?" And I was like, I've kind of done a lot of stuff. Yeah. I've kind of done a lot of stuff, and I think it's just kind of like you. Yeah, I collecting things. I like a lot of things. I'm interested in a lot of things, and I just put myself into them, and I don't have kids.
So, yeah, the kids thing is one thing I've noticed about kind of your story too, is that you don't have to worry about that.
Right. I got a vasectomy when I was 31.
Genius.
Yeah. I was like, I'm not doing this.
Probably the best thing you did in your comedy career.
Well, yeah, probably. Yeah. Well, it's why my first marriage ended too. So.
Oh shit. That happens, yeah.
So.
Oh, that's not good. I just now caught that. Yeah.
No, it was fine. It was good.
Okay.
It was worth it.
No, I thought you were like, oh well, she was pregnant, but it wasn't me.
No. We just couldn't agree on the kids thing.
Yeah. That's a tough conversation. I think I've gotten to the age where my kids are. I'm done. I've been done, and I'm the 5-year-old's lucky he's here. He got in right as the fucking shot clock went. He was like a shot clock shot. He went in, and I was like, fuck. All right, here we go. I'm on the clock for 18 more years, and then I'm gonna fucking. But I'm so happy because he's the greatest kid, and I love him so much, and he's so interesting in so many different ways, and so different than my other son that I'd ever imagined.
Honestly, I could not imagine doing stand up if I had kids. There's no way.
It's tough.
I couldn't imagine. I can't believe. Do you have kids, Dan?
No.
Okay, but you do, right?
He knows.
Okay,
I do.
You got several.
He's a
So,
waitress in Milwaukee.
dude, I could not
gonna come up to you
imagine
this
trying to do stand. I mean, I know people do it, and some people say when you get kids, it actually pushes your career further because one, you've got more relatable things to talk about, but two, like there's something about having children. Like I can't be fucking around anymore.
Yeah, if I'm gonna do this, it's got to be real.
Yeah, exactly.
See, I have a joke about each one of my children, so it actually helps me get material because my oldest son is deaf.
Yeah.
Ironically enough.
No,
So
I've heard about my joke
I do
earlier.
And
He didn't hear it. It's okay.
I did.
No, I said your
I
son
know,
did.
I got it.
Can I, after this, can I ask you? I have another deaf joke. Can I run it by you?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, all right.
You have one about your daughter now. That's so funny.
Yeah, I have
I'm
one about
excited
my
it.
daughter, and that one was very hard joke for me to write. But it's being a single father. Like sometimes I go to him for parenting advice because I'm like, I have my comedy friends, but like my other friends, I just kind of don't really hang out with. I mostly just hang out with comedy people now.
Yeah,
I think that's something I explain to people all the time. I know people that are like, I have no friends, and I'm like, get a fucking hobby.
Yeah,
you'll
you need a
have
hobby.
friends.
Yeah, you gotta
Like,
have a hobby.
or get a goal. I say hobby as a joke, but like get a goal because once you create a community or you have a community that you're a part of, then you do have friends because you have something in common that you can discuss. Like our open mic every week is a scheduled hangout with my friends. That's how I look at it. Every week we have a scheduled hangout, and some of those people look at it like, I don't want to go to a bar, and I'm like, I get that, you don't have to, but it is a scheduled hangout every week that we can all see each other, catch up, talk, and then we joke and do comedy, and then we call it a day.
All right, I'm gonna run this joke by Sean.
Yeah, run it to him.
Because how old is your kid who's deaf?
He'll be 21 tomorrow.
Okay. So you're pretty connected into the deaf community. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Because I don't know if this is offensive or not. So if it is, just forgive me. All right. So I wrote this joke a while back. I was like, I've got a friend who his name's Caleb. He's deaf, and I asked him.
That's like no, your other son's Caleb. I'm sorry.
My other son's Caleb.
Go ahead.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
So I was like,
threw me off.
and I asked him. I was like, he came to a show once, and I was like, is applause considered offensive in the deaf community because it's they can't hear it, so it's a non-inclusive act. And I thought what he said was really interesting. He said, yeah.
It's a good joke. I don't think it would be bad. It wouldn't. We actually make fun of my son all the time. We call it the pterodactyl noise.
Oh yeah.
Anytime he's excited, you hear like a high pitched screech. But like my joke about it is the same thing. It's about like deaf people have holes. They've never heard certain things, so they don't know.
Yeah.
It's about him farting in public, and it's because he didn't know that farts make
a
noise.
sound. Yeah, that's fascinating.
There's we gotta wrap this up, but there's a Kathy Griffin quote that I always talk about and it's funny because
this is the president's head.
Yeah, this is and that's what it is. This is okay. I can do this. No, the joke she says, or this thing that she says is, people always say you can't make jokes about cancer, and she's like, oh really? Go to a cancer ward. That's all they want to hear.
Jesselnick did that. Like I saw a clip of Jesselnick doing that in like a cancer survivor's ward.
Yeah.
Like they were loving it.
Or Jeff Ross going into prison and roasting prisoners, or people that are a part of something.
They liked him because they also fucked teenagers.
Damn. I think it's one of those
Allegedly.
things. It's one of those things where I feel like people they don't want to hear bad faith. Obviously, they don't want you to just make fun of them. But if you make fun with them, I think making fun of something and making fun with something. If they get to be part of the
joke, it's totally different.
And you have a friend, so it's a little different.
No, that's all lie. I made all that up.
Damn it, he has no fucking.
That's what I'm saying. The whole joke is made up.
God damn it. Well, that goodwill's still there. Anyway, I want to thank you guys so much for hanging out today. I mean, we actually did a little longer than we typically do, but I'm so happy because I got you guys to come out here and hang out. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys for tuning in to Kokomo Press Podcast. I'm Jordan Grainger. That might be the name of the podcast. I don't know. Of course, over here in my
Sean D. Come
Sean
to
D.
me,
That's my co-host over there.
October 3rd at Monsters Inc. and the 4th at Harvest Fest.
And then the great Dan West. We're a little off center now because you've moved so much during the show that I.
My bad about that.
No, you're okay. It's okay. Go see him in Wyoming. You're gonna be in Wyoming.
Yeah,
go all the way to Rossville.
926 in Rossville, about 20 minutes up the road from Grainger.
Hell yeah.
My show starts an hour earlier, so check out the first half of my show and then bail and go check out Grainger's show.
Yeah. Come see us both. It'll be fun. And then, of course, the great.
The great.
Justin
I like
Seymour.
that.
I'll give you
good.
the great.
Yeah, just go to my website, justinjseymour.com. That's where all the upcoming shows are.
Yeah, you also were one of those movers. Here you go. You're in the middle, even though it doesn't matter because
I
the
think
show's
the
over.
table got kicked at one point.
The goddamn table. No wonder I'm still in the middle somehow. Hey, yo. Anyway, thank you guys so much for hanging out. This has been the Kokomo Press Podcast. Appreciate it.
Hey.
Kisses.
Nice.
Thank you for watching the Kokomo Press Podcast. We really appreciate you hanging out with us. If you enjoyed the show, make sure you like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, share, and tell all your friends about it. Because when people know about us, we get to continue to bring new, great, exciting things to you. And if you really want to support us, you can actually go on to Facebook and you can become an official subscriber. It's only $4.99 a month, and you get a lot of access to us. You get to tell us good jokes, tell us all the things you want to, and you're going to get access to new videos, merch, all kinds of things. And if you just want to support us in another way, maybe wear a shirt, wear a hat, something like that, check out kokomopress.shop. It's a brand new store we have set up. It's got all our merchandise needs. It's going to have limited run t-shirts, limited run hats. Go check it out right now. Thank you so much for hanging out with the Kokomo Press on the Kokomo Press Podcast. See you soon. 2 kisses.
I'm Dan West here with the Kokomo Press Podcast, and I had to quit drinking, and it's the worst.